Hey guys, it's Christina. This is
Hey.
Vox and Guest, and I am joined today by a not pointless band and a very cultured one. This is Pointless Culture. Say hello to everyone, boys.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Good to see you.
Look at that. Nobody went, hi, everybody, which is like, say hello to me. Listen, I am so excited to have you here because I have been talking to Nolan forever, but now I get to meet the whole band. I want you guys to introduce yourselves, tell everybody what you do.
Well, I'll go first. My name's Harrison Fantasia, aka Billy Danger. I am the lead singer and the rhythm guitarist for the band Pointless Culture, and I am also a carpenter and a fine woodworker. I want that to be on the side one day, but it's not right now. That's my career.
I hear you. Wood on the side. Nobody's ever complained about that. All right. I think he's pointing at you, Ben. Here we go. It's your moment.
Hello, I am Ben Schultz, and I am the lead guitarist and do some backup vocals and some of the things we do. And I do other stuff, but that's not important because I play music, right? So there we go.
That sounds illegal, but that's okay. All right, who's going next?
I'll go. I'm Nolan Coda. I'm the bassist. I try to keep everything in order in our basement at rehearsal and all that, but things go pretty well. And these are my best friends, and I'm super happy to be a part of a band with them.
He's also the best guitarist in the band, and we both take lessons from every once in a while.
Yeah.
Love that. I love a bass player actually getting respect for once. This is like a miracle moment. That's it. This is suddenly like a unicorn of an interview because somebody didn't give the bass player shit right off the bat. All right, that leaves you. Here we go.
Hi. I'm Harrison Hinman. I'm the second Harrison in the band. Yes, there's two. That's kind of rare.
It really is, though.
It is pretty rare.
In my heart.
And I play the drums. I'm kind of a mess, but most drummers are. I'm a radio DJ in real life. That's like my primary job, and I program a top 40 station, and then I like to play music on the side. So I don't know. I've been playing drums for ever since I could pick up sticks, and been wanting to join a band forever, and this has just been awesome the past 2 years. So, and just be able to bring Nolan into this, meet Harrison and Ben, and I don't know. This has been a blast. So I'm happy to be part of Pointless Culture.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. That's it. We're good. Harrison.
Sorry, I talk forever. I always talk forever. Get used to it tonight.
Excuse me. You may have met your like Gannon. Like I talk a lot. So if you think you talk a lot, well, we're gonna have to pull it out later and measure against each other. Yeah, we might because this is a pretty big mouth. I'm Italian and I'm from New York and I have ADHD. So
I have ADHD too. There we go.
Oh, my buddy. All right, we're good. Okay, listen, we're gonna talk about the music. We're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff, but Nolan may or may not have warned you, and I'm gonna bet that Nolan didn't.
Probably
because
not.
I don't think he did. I don't fuck around on this show, and I feel like as a award-winning professional.
I'm a professional.
I've never won an award, and I'm not professional. But as an award-winning professional, there's a big asterisk there. I feel like I have to uphold a certain journalistic standard, and so I begin every show with a serious question. Okay, and you guys might get freaked out. I hope nobody leaves. If you cry, you cry. I got you. Okay, but we're gonna do it together. All right, is everybody ready? Do you feel good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Award-winning musicians will try our best to answer.
Okay. Well, all right. I'm not expecting too much, so don't worry. As a musician myself, I know where we are in life. So, but okay, here we go. Serious faces. Gird your loins. Are they girded?
Girded.
Are they loiny? They're loiny. You're loiny? All right, here we go.
Loiny, yeah.
Once and for all, Pointless Culture. Individually and as a band, I need you to solve for me the age-old question. The 2-second rule for food. Yes or no, and why?
Isn't it a 5-second rule?
It's a something second rule, but I've generally heard we can average it to 3 if you like. Don't fuck with my question, dude. I'll hang up on you. No. So the whatever second rule, what are we going to call it? Do you guys have a band second rule that I should be going by?
Depends on whose house we're in.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
So
true.
the blank second rule for food, and for anybody who does not know, some people say if you drop food on the floor and you pick it up within X number of seconds, that could be 2, 3, apparently 5. 73, whatever. It is still good to eat. And some people say, no, once it hits the floor, it's dead to me. So who's going to start? I want serious, mindful, intellectual answers here. I will settle for nothing less. All right, Fantasia, do it. Do it to me.
So I don't even eat food off the floor in my own house because we have cats, and I think that's gross. The fact that they walk into somewhere to poop and then walk around the house, yeah, that's enough for me. But I'd go to the other Harrison's house, and if I drop something on his floor, as long as it's not on the rug, I'd eat something off of it for sure. Like, come on. As long as it's clean and there's not a bunch of pets running around, you know, that's not that bad.
Okay. Do you have a cap? Do you have pride? Like, is there a cap on how many seconds that you will give it? Or is it just, you know, if you drop something on the way, you go to the bathroom, you read a novel, you come back, it's still there, it's fair game? Or do you?
I usually pick it up in the time it takes my heart to skip a beat because I dropped my food. It's that quick. I'm very serious about it.
Okay. All right. I think I'm going to have to throw to you now, H2, because you are apparently the man with the floor that invites eating off of it, which kudos. But talk to me about your life and your floor, and what's your deal on the blank second rule?
Yeah, well, I just look to see if there's hair on it, and then I judge it. Yeah, if there's nothing on it, it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The floors are good. The floors are pretty clean. I just got like the robotic vacuum, so I think he's doing a good job.
Okay, so you have a little robot dude, but now
it's a knockoff one, so I don't know if it's that good. But
what if you are not at your apparently pristine home? What if you're at Fantasia's house? What if you are in the bog of cat poop or whatever? Like, is it a floor by floor decision?
Depends how drunk I am. It's true. That's honestly
the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, but generally you're at least considering it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
pretty much,
Nolan,
yeah.
Ben, who's taking it next? I know this is a deep one, but you know I want to hear from everybody.
I'll nominate Ben for this one.
Oh, sure. I would really have to say it depends on the food that is dropped.
Ooh.
Because, see, any candy that's sugar like based mainly, and that's any time. You can drop that on the floor, a minute goes by, it doesn't even matter. It's a piece of candy, it's sugar. Shit doesn't go bad. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm with you on that.
But like a piece of fruit, like once again, you gotta look for hair on it, but you can wash that in a sink. Eat it again, you know?
Okay.
I'm honestly kind of a nasty motherfucker. Because I eat ass, but other than that, like,
hey, you know, everybody's got a favorite cuisine, so we're good. That's fine.
But if there's hair and if it's dirty, probably not, unless there's a sink somewhere.
Now, okay, so but what if it is something that is neither sugar based and therefore apparently, according to you, immune to everything, much like Cher or Keith Richards, or if it's something you can't wash, like fruit? What if it's like pizza? Or a burger or a fry? Like you're committing at that point.
If it's bread down on the pizza, I'd probably still eat it if there's no hair on the bottom because it's like already kind of dirty looking anyways because it's like pizza crust. So, you know, just ignore it. I have found myself drop something on the floor, judge it, take a bite, and then decide not to take the rest of the bite.
Oh, that seems a little late to me, but okay. So, all right. So you really have a granular analysis here. You're sort of the scientist of the band so far. I appreciate that. All right. So you're going by food composition and not necessarily whose floor it is. And as long as it is like at or above the level of the average ass, you will go for it.
Mm-hmm. I would say yeah.
All right, Nolan, this is it. Are you going to deviate from the norm or are you just eating shit everywhere too? not so to speak.
I would say when I was a kid, that was a little more accurate for me to eat off the floor based on, you know, how long it's been on the floor and stuff. But if it's soft food of any kind, if it's like really soft and, you know, there's no solidity to it, no, hell no.
Hard no. And even at H2's house, even on his famous floor?
Yeah, probably not even off his floor, just because of all the cat traffic too. But I can attest to that too. I have a cat myself, and you know, he's he's like super sheddy, I guess.
Okay, and now what about H1's floor? He has an also famous floor, but
now he has a nice floor. I can attest. He has very nice wood grain in his floor.
love how
They're
famous
10 out
your
of 10
floors
would
are
be-
in this band.
So I'd probably eat a jelly bean off the floor if I needed to.
But soft
Ooh.
food is a hard no.
Soft food, yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we've learned is that you gentlemen will put
If you're
things
drunk,
in your
you would.
mouth under pretty low standards. So I appreciate that. You know what? I feel like as part of a band, that's going to help you being on the road and eating in some of these venues that we do. So okay. All right. I feel like I know you all better now, and we've grown closer as a result of that discussion.
I agree.
I feel pretty good about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay.
We gotta build
All right,
ourselves
so-
up.
All right. So everything we're going to talk about from now on is obviously going to be much less interesting, but we'll get into your music and all that. So this is a band from New Hampshire. New Hampshire. Okay, we got an indie rock band, but you are indie rock that doesn't sound like any other indie rock ever. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See, Ben's there with me. Nolan's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's different, and I think Harrison makes it that way, like with his songwriting and especially his voice. He's got a very distinct voice, and I think that's what's going to set us apart down the road. You know, if say we do, you know, not blow up, but you know, I don't know. We're hoping something, but I think that's what's going to set us apart. Honestly, is his voice.
I hope we get a following kind of like Primus, where they're like, they're all right, but they still go see us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
I like where you're aiming your hopes. That's pretty good. It's like, yeah, all right, I'll go.
Especially
I'll
that
go.
last show we had, man. We sucked.
Yeah.
That was
Oh
a
yeah.
bad
I already
show.
consider the band a wild success. Anything from here is just candy on top.
There we go. Candy that Ben would eat off of any floor after any amount of time. This is
Off of
where we
any
are.
ants.
There you go. That's a whole yeah, okay. It's like bedazzling, but with candy. I like it. So you guys, you have a cool story of how you all met and came together. So first of all, before we even get to that, where did the name for the band come from? Why Pointless Culture?
Oh, this is great. Yeah. Well, do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
You start because yeah, it was funny.
All right. So this was when it was just the two Harrisons in the band, me and the other Harrison, and we were meeting at the Flying Goose in New London. I live like 5 minutes from there, and
Great food.
yeah, they're good food.
With
Oh my god,
dogs
they need to
and
bring back the lupulin suplex. That
Yeah,
is the
please.
best beer, but it's
I have been saying that for years. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So, all right. Now I'm thinking Superfly Snuka. Like, what did you say? The suplex, like the wrestling move?
yeah, it's a lupulin suplex. It's so good. It's a double IPA. You know,
That's all we
okay.
drink. That's all we drink.
For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought it was a burger, and I think I'm just hungry. But okay, all right, fine. So you're meeting at the
we're meeting there. We
Flying
have
Goose-
a list of names that we've been coming up with for the past, like 2 weeks or something. I've been asking everybody around.
Hey, what were some of the names? Say some of them because we had some really dumb ones.
There was like divorce culture was one of them.
That was gonna be the name, and then
That
we
was
found
gonna be
someone
the
that had
name.
profiles on
Hold on.
Apple and Spotify.
You're
Divorce
kidding
culture.
with the name Divorce Culture?
Not kidding. We almost shook on it, then we shook on PC. So
Yeah, somebody else had it. Hold on, I'm looking up the list now.
it was
I love
a.
that you still have it.
Weren't we like the something? We had to. I don't know. I think we had like 7 or 8 names that we were really considering.
Oh, we wanted to be the Whistling Moon Travelers
Yes.
too, but we weren't sure if that was copyrighted. That's just
The
my favorite
Whistling
little
Moon
firework.
Travelers?
Yeah. It's a little
Yeah.
firework,
Okay,
like,
if that were copyrighted, I would feel
Yeah.
like seriously, like literally every band name is taken. So
Yeah. And we were
okay.
shocked. Like I looked on everywhere to see if Pointless Culture was taken, and I looked on handles on Instagram and everything, and nothing. So I'm like, I'm claiming this shit right now. So yeah.
is it really just talking about like all the shit that's like popular, like pointless pop culture?
Well-
like what's the
Oh, I found the list.
Okay. Go
Sorry
through
to
that first.
interrupt.
bring it on? No, bring it on.
So the list of band names we were choosing from was my buddy Mac's recommendation, Jody and the High Rollers, but nobody was named Jody, so we didn't do that.
I actually like that though.
Yeah,
People
it
will be
was
like,
pretty
"Where's Jody?" You're like, "Mm."
We were thinking the world's greatest scam, the Kentucky Rejects, Almost Loved, Give Mothers Guns, Vacation State, Hell's Waiting Room, and Not Traditional. And
okay,
yeah, so we were sitting
that's
there.
a good
and
list.
we chose Divorce Culture, and we were like, well, actually, according to my boss, it's a terrible list. He said, Pointless Culture is the best band name. Why didn't you just think of that first?
Well, everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, but okay, you know,
right?
I mean, there's definitely stuff on, you know, I've been in enough bands in my life and sat there with enough horrible potential band names where I'm like, that's a pretty good list. I'm gonna disagree with your boss, who I'm guessing is not a musician. So,
No.
okay, all right. So Divorce Culture was bizarrely taken, and so you pivot to Pointless Culture.
Yeah, so another one of the names we wanted to do was the Pointless Americans. And so when we learned Divorce Culture was taken, we were all, you know, just kind of torn up about it, sitting there sipping on our sweet lupulin suplex. And we were like, what if we just combine some of these names? And I started just randomly combining them, and I randomly said Pointless Culture, and he looks at me and he's like, that's the one. And I was like, is this dude freaking serious? And he was like, no, that's the one. And I was like, yeah, if you say so, let's shake on it.
Sure.
And then
It's better than Divorce American. So I feel like yeah. So I think that's all right. So no, so you went through, like, there's a band that I interviewed a couple weeks back called AGBAT, AGBAT, and it stands for All Good Band Names Are Taken.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, that's pretty clever there. So the
That's
fact that
pretty
you
cool.
guys had options,
I did do some of them
appreciate
through like bandnamegenerator.com. I will not lie.
Okay. I feel
I
like
think that's where
that
the
and
Pointless
the
Americans came
lupulin
from.
suplexes are like sponsoring the show now. They just don't know it. But all right. So so all right. So talk to me about this very cool story. Okay, because this goes back to what, 2019?
Actually, yeah, it was 2019. It was summer 2019. I was working a different position in radio at the time, and right across the street there was this music store, and I'd just been getting, like, I started, it was like me starting full time with the radio station. I was part time before, and I finally got some pretty beefy paychecks, and
Another
I was
good
like,
band
not that you make anything in radio, but but I decided that I wanted to go get a new hi-hat stand, because I really wanted a new hi-hat stand, because I had some money and I
That's a
didn't like
good
the one
reason.
I had. So I want to go get a new hi-hat stand. And so I walk across the street on my lunch break, and there he was. He was sitting right there playing guitar, playing The Line's Been Drawn. And he's like, hey, man, check this out. Didn't even say his name, nothing. Like, didn't like, just, he's like, hey, man, let me know if this sounds cool. He just like played this really quick. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. He's like, hey, I'm Harrison. I'm like,
What?
I'm Harrison. What?
No,
And
I'm
so-
Harrison.
Yeah.
It's
And,
like
it was
that
pretty
Spider-Man meme when
Hold
you're
on.
pointing at each other.
I actually have a piece of history right
I
here.
literally thought you were going to say like a piece of his hair or something. Like, I didn't know where we were going with that. It's like,
Oh, I
just,
hope I can find it. It's got to be here. It's somewhere. Oh, that's for a dispensary. That's not shit. My bad. Never used that. Maybe I should. No,
Yeah,
I don't
so-
really do that.
We traded numbers
talking.
that day. And, you know,
Oh, here it is.
like a month
This
later,
is what we traded numbers on. I'm not gonna give your phone
you
number.
st-
out.
yeah, I was going to say, wait, you still,
Yeah.
I love, he still got the band name list and you've got the business card. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome right there.
Yeah, no, that was cool. Like this is what he gave me the day that we met. I don't know why it's in my laptop bag, but it is. I think it's because I found it, because I just moved about 5 months ago and I found it. I'm like, oh, well, it's kinda
That's
cool. I
Pointless
probably shouldn't
Culture
give it-
history.
Yeah.
You have to
So
have
there
that.
it is. Yeah, that was
That's
the
going
day
to be
we.
the album cover at some point. That's going to be it with your
Probably.
phone number on it. Just, you know.
Yeah, you gotta change it after. You're gonna.
So okay, so you bonded over, you know, The Line's Been Drawn. You bonded over having the same name,
the
and
best name in
then
the world.
best name in the world.
Yeah.
And so you decide you're gonna work together after hours at the store. So did you get permission for that, or were you just
Yeah.
break?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
My bosses were really cool. The people that own Blue Mountain Guitar are really nice. And they were like, yeah, you could use the practice kit in the
Awesome.
drum room. Just put it back where you found it.
Very
And, you
cool.
know, some of the other people didn't really like it because I didn't know how to put together a drum kit after we were done using it. But they got over it, and, you know, it was great.
Kick is up here. The
Yeah.
cells on the floor. Yeah.
Hi-hats on, the floor tom, whatever. Yeah.
The only reason we ended up stopping is because I stopped working at Blue Mountain Guitar to go pursue carpentry, and then I lost the spot. You know, I didn't want to pay for it. We were doing it there for free.
No, I hear you. Anyone who's ever paid for rehearsal space can relate to that statement very strongly. So yeah, what you guys had a couple months together, 3-4 months, and then life sort of just drifted you off into the ether.
Yeah, we got busy. It kind of sucked, and like I had this like shitty feeling, and I was like, oh man, like I don't know if I just like burned a bridge or something. Like it kind of I felt shitty for a while actually, and missed it. But I was really busy at the time, and I know he was too. But
so like 3 years go by.
It was a while. And here's the best part.
It was like 2 years, right? It was from
actually it was probably like 2 years. But the best part is we are so bad at texting, like texting anybody. Like we are so bad. Like, hold on, I kid you not. I gotta open my phone. We've
improved.
I have 670.
Jesus, that's supposed to be the email count, not the text. What the hell?
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh my god, I'm way too compulsive for that. That's giving me agita right now. Okay, all right. So you're bad at texting, which we visually confirmed.
Yeah.
So a couple years go by.
He is worse at texting. He is worse.
And okay, so I think H2, you pick up the story here because it was your invite that kind of sparked the whole thing.
Yeah. So I was drinking one day, right? And playing music, and just got done doing construction, and I was really tired, and I was like, man, I wish I could start a band. That would be sweet. That's what Ben and I have wanted to do this whole time. Like we've been friends since what, 6th grade?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and we've always wanted to be in a rock band. And I was sitting there, I was like, why haven't we done it yet? I just sit around, I'm bored all the time. Let's just do it. So I went out to my truck to smoke a butt and called up Harrison, hoping that his number didn't change, and he answered. He was like, hey. And I was just kind of quiet for a second. I was like, oh my god, he answered. What do I say?
I have to have a
what the hell's going on?
I love that. You guys don't talk for like a couple of years. He calls out of the blue. First of all, you answered, which if somebody calls me.
I was just sitting at home. Yeah. That was like the worst case of COVID I had. Like I was just sitting there and nothing better to do. So I don't know. I had my phone in my hand. Picked up the phone. I still had his name in my phone, so it's not like
it wasn't okay. I gotcha. Yeah. So and then as no time had passed, you reconnect, and then tell the class where you started jamming, because I love this location.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was in Harrison's, now fiance's.
Congratulations.
It was her parents' house backyard. And I kid you not, it was so buggy. It was so shitty. Like, no, it was great. Like, it was so great. And I think that's like really what set the tone that we were going to, no,
it was free.
We were getting so, it was so, Black Fly. It was so bad, but it was fun. And we had to stop by 8 so neighbors wouldn't get pissed, but it was.
It's a good way to go. But so it's the H2, H1, whatever. You had been invited to a local music festival, right? So you actually had a gig to prep for at this point.
Yeah.
How'd you get the gig when you didn't have a band? I'm curious.
So the guy that I work for, his shop is in Ackworth, and it's near this the general store, which is the only thing in Ackworth.
There's nothing in Ackworth. There's no police, so you can get away with murder.
Barely any people. They're all great. I love the town. It's beautiful. The people are all wonderful. But it is like, if you want to disappear, that's where you go.
Okay.
And so my boss's wife volunteers running the general store there because it's a historical building. So it's kept alive through volunteer work and all that stuff. They have employees that run the actual store, but there's a lot of donations that go into it. And they have this festival that they started behind my boss's shop there, actually, like years ago. It was just kind of a thing that the town did. And all the profits go to benefit the store. They provide food and all that stuff. And so Mary, that's her name, she heard that I was a musician and was like, oh, will you play the festival? She just kind of brought it up one day. I was like, oh, yeah, I'd love to play a festival. Not thinking I was committing to actually playing the festival. And
you're like, no, I just thought this was like a poll question. Like, would you as an individual ever want to play? But yeah, sure, someday. And she's like, okay, great. And it's in 3 weeks. It's like, okay.
So, about a month, maybe a month and a half before the festival, they put a flyer up at the store, and I walk in for lunch and I see my name at the bottom of it. And I'm like,
Oh shit!
Like, I haven't played a show in like a couple of years. I just
I
kind of
actually need to. Yeah, I need something
I
to play.
fiddle paddle and write songs on the weekends. I have all these songs that I wrote, but I'm not really up to practice on them and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that was another reason that I called him, and he really got me out of a bind there. We did 8 songs. I think we played for about 35 or 40 minutes and talked for like 5 or 10. We were supposed to fill 45 minutes, and it went really well. People loved us. It was awesome, and we did it again last year. And we're gonna do it again this year.
We were H squared, by the way. That was our name when we.
Yeah, that was
okay. Very cool.
Mhm.
Very
and
cool.
people were like, and it was so funny. Like, no disrespect or like not harping on anyone, but it was so funny. Like, when that festival happens, it's still H squared that gets put on the. It's funny.
Plus N plus B. You just gotta go around all the flyers. So okay, and then so you guys go. You know what? We got something here, and you each brought in a buddy, a friend, a pal.
Best friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey Nolan.
Hey.
I love that you're on this side, the two of you are stacked. It's like this little love fest. And then Pointless Culture was born. Okay. And you guys are it's funny. I found you through Nolan, because again, Nolan, I guess, is the one that does all the social media, or at least Facebook, from what I've been interacting.
He does a lot of the networking stuff for us.
Yeah. And so, found you guys, and I was like, all right, this band is fun. Like, you get that right away. Like, it's all over everything. If you watch anything, if you listen to anything, obviously talking to you guys, you're miserable fucks and totally too serious, but the rest of it seems super fun. but I was so looking forward to this, and I feel like this would be a good spot, because people, I used to, when we first started this show, I would get so into talking, I would forget to play the band's song for like an hour and a half, and people were like, you need to play it sooner. So I have this promise now to everyone that regularly watches, that we get it in under the 30-minute mark, which I don't know if we did or not, but who gives a shit. We're going to do it now. So why don't you guys just tell us a little bit about Severed Ties, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it more.
All
That's
right.
you. Okay.
Isn't Severed Ties one of the ones we used to practice at the old store?
It
Tis.
Yeah.
So I can confirm this is true.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have the best memory. But
It's okay.
he brought it up. We had been practicing. I think Nolan was part of the band already. I can't remember. But
I remember
Yeah, he was. I think
Yeah,
he was.
you guys, you had said, like, what's that song that we used to do? And you went back and actually scrolled through your phone and were like, was it this one? And
through the voice memos and stuff. Oh my God, I have like 375 voice memos right now.
Half as many texts as
and they're all named New Recording 1, New Recording 2, New Recording 3. I forgot to look through it all. So scrolled through it, found that song, and I think we had the verses written for that song, and we added in the bridge and the chorus. I think
good
I wrote
idea.
That after I found it again.
Okay.
And then it became a song, and I love it. I mean, it's cool. I think it was the best song we could have done first. It's the perfect simple song, but also technical enough to do its thing. I don't know.
And show off what you guys can do. All right, we're going to talk more about it when we come back. But guys, this is Severed Ties by Pointless Culture.
Cheers.
The way you do your own thing, like you knew I was lying right from the start, but you left your head down, you kept playing your part. Babe, I truly was in love with you, but now that things are through, I feel I recolor my blue. Things we say, I think my love just went to waste. You took what we had and just threw it in my face. Babe, decide to intrude. But after I said bye, you won't catch me crying. Someone else has stole my eye. Now it's time we say goodbye. As much as you do. But after I said bye, you won't catch me crying. Someone else has stole my eye. And now it's time we sever ties.
So I mean, this song is, this was the first thing I heard from the band, and I think it makes sense. You guys have the official video and everything, and I mean, by the way, shout out to Natalie. Let's shout out Natalie from NES Media. You guys want to love her up for a second before we move along, because that's a great video.
She's amazing.
Absolutely, she's incredible. She's been there for us like since the beginning, almost helping us kind of with all the photography stuff, doing some B-roll, and even helping us get promotion and stuff done too. And I can't even describe how freaking awesome she is at what she does, and how easy it is to work with her. That's like
the holy grail. No, she takes, because I mean, a lot of times you'll see band photos and it looks like a hostage situation, right? Like you have 3 guys, 5 guys, 4 guys, a chick, and not 9 guys or whatever the hell this sounds like. We're getting into weird YouTube territory, but just whatever the band photo, and either they're all lined up and just standing there kind of, and nobody can smile or whatever, or you have to have the one where it's like you're all on the staircase and you're lined up, and then you get the angle.
We did that.
I did do that. I don't know if we released that. Yeah,
I haven't seen it, or it's a brick wall, but it's very standard. Now you guys will be in different locations, but all of the photos, even the live gig shots, which are I think way harder to do, and have them come out well. She's really talented. Everything. I think at some point, I think one of you said she actually makes us look cool, which we're not. It's kind of I can relate to that. Totally, I understand that. So big ups to Natalie for the photos and the video there. But I mean, go ahead.
I didn't know it would turn into that. I had no idea.
No,
I was DJing a wedding, and then she was there, and I told her I had a band. She's I've always wanted to shoot for a band, and so that's where it started. So that it was cool, and she's the 5th member. So we love her.
No, it's great. No, and it really, I mean, you guys have this, the video is just, it's funny, I mean, it really, I I'm going through it first and I'm like, okay, there's this very pretty, sort of long distance shot. And you see these 2 people coming to each other and I'm like, oh, they're going to hug and they're going to whatever. And it's whoop, you're just, I'm like, okay, this is not that video then. And I mean, so what direction did you give Audrey and Mac in that was it just be as fucking crazy as you can, throw shit at each other? What? Talk to me about the story of the video. Talk to me about the story of the song, because it really, you guys, that's probably what I would call if you had to have a signature song. I think that's probably it. That's the one that I associate with you the most. And it's just, I want to get into it musically more later, but just since everybody's seen the video, like talk about that a little bit, because did you have as much fun as it looked like?
Oh yeah. We
Okay.
had a ton of fun.
Sweaty fun. Sweaty
That
fun.
scene that you were just
Some of
talking
my
about,
favorite kind of fun. Yeah.
that scene you were just talking about where they're like on
Yeah.
that's by the dam. We call that the dam. And
Okay.
We shoot fireworks off illegally there a lot.
no, we don't.
No, he's just kidding. They
I'm
absolutely
kidding.
do not. They give library books to children that don't have them there. That's what they do.
And then take them away.
Yes, I'm trying to help
Fuck
you
the
here.
kids.
But, okay.
But that was probably the most heart-pounding moment of it. Well, I don't know. Let me back up. So first we had to find kind of a dumpy dude and a really pretty woman. We did that. So Mac, the one that came up with Jody and the High Rollers,
Oh, that's okay.
yeah, that's my roommate's cousin. He was the star in that music video. And
Uh-huh.
the whole point of the music video is like the girl thinks that he's cheating, but he really just has a sex doll that he prefers more than her.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, which I
So-
don't know that that's better, but that's a judgment call.
For that scene, we had to park like, I don't know, 50 feet away during like a normal day where traffic's going by, grab this body out of the trunk that's in a tarp, run it over to the edge of the dam,
Oh,
put
you
it
should see the outtakes of this.
and then take the shot. And like people are slowing down because they see the film equipment and stuff.
Like, what's this?
And then pack it all up and like run this woman back and shove her in the trunk and then get the hell out of there.
Which
Meanwhile,
looks
it's all-
great.
Yeah, it's like minutes away from where I live, and everybody I know is around. And it's like, please don't see us, please don't see us.
There's like 3 people to run her over there because it's like a steel skeleton, like heavy doll. Like
She's like 100 pounds, like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
I was gonna say I won't ask whose house she was kept at. Between
Wasn't mine.
she's got an amazing personality.
she seems great. Very learned. Quiet but powerful.
She's got huge tracts of land.
But she
Huge
was very
tracts of
cooperative.
land. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
I-
so how did you guys come up with the concept? Like, talk me through just the songwriting, because obviously the song was written, over a couple of years. So talk to me about, like, Harrison, when you started with that, like, did you get the riff first? Because you got that really pretty guitar riff at the beginning. Like, was that where did the song begin? Was it lyrics? Was it,
Oh, it was totally the guitar part. I usually
Okay.
come up with a cool little guitar part, then I'll come up with like a little line or something, and then just kind of go from there. And it eventually works itself out. There's no method to it. But there was never really a meaning to the song. Like, it has a drive, and you can interpret it however you want. So when it came to coming up with the music video, we all got to the apartment where I live and drank a bunch, and then I decided we needed
Sensing a theme. Yeah.
we decided we needed to make a PowerPoint for Natalie so that she could properly interpret our thoughts.
A PowerPoint.
Oh my god, it was a shit show.
How rock and roll.
Yeah.
PowerPoint. My God. Okay.
So it was great that
Clip art
night.
and all. Clip art
It
and
was-
all.
Yeah, it was the coolest.
Oh
PowerPoint.
no.
We shared it with each other, all that stuff. Make a meeting with Natalie, go to explain it to her, and I stand there and I realize how much of a fool I am, and like
Just like a monkey smearing feces on the wall, thinking it's Shakespeare. Like, okay, I got
Exactly
you.
it.
Okay, Natalie's like, what the
yeah.
fuck?
This is a band of alcoholics, I see.
Okay, I see how we're going here.
No,
Okay,
that's
so
not how we
you,
wanted to
you,
come
you
off.
thought you
That's-
had a plan.
That's what it looked like.
Okay, it looked very fancy.
Yeah.
I think the idea of the music video came about when I'm just like, hey guys, a guy I know is trying to get rid of a free sex doll.
Yeah.
Like, we should do something with it.
Well, first he was trying to sell it for a lot of money, and then when we realized it was free, we were like, "How could we pass up this opportunity?"
It's a prop for film.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a cinematic thing that you're doing.
You guys put her in a suitcase.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
when I first saw her, I thought I was gonna puke. Ben pulled her out of the suitcase, and it was like ripping this corpse apart, like trying to get it to look like a person.
It's like naked and bald and
Yeah.
fucking weird, eyes in every direction.
And then when we got her all spread out on the couch, everybody
speak.
wanted to slap the titty. Everybody. The girls, the guys, everybody. It was just, it was a spank fest that whole time.
fantastic. I kind of feel like that could have been the video just by itself. Don't know that Natalie would have wanted to put her name on that one, but
No, she was already very weird about putting her name on this one. So,
please
Yeah.
don't mention me.
yeah.
I'll do it for free if you just don't use my name with anyone ever.
We're working on another one right now, so she's slowly. So she's I think she's gonna want to put her name on this one. a little
Okay.
more, so,
No doll. And did we name the doll
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Cinnamon?
Yeah.
Is that like a Tori Amos reference, or like why was it cinnamon?
No, because she was the color of cinnamon. Like if you took a cinnamon
Really
stick
was.
right next to her,
Okay. Cinnamon. Okay.
you had a red hue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a picture of her.
Out.
We
Well,
did a
they all
shot-
just saw her. But
Yeah.
okay, so you
She
have
is.
oh wait, move it over.
Hold on.
That was just a blur.
Wait, I can go into my closet.
There we go. I
Yeah.
was like, so I was gonna ask what happened to her after, and then I realized I really didn't want to know.
I blew her up with tannerite.
Did you really blow her up?
No, but there's a plan to.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to do it.
Okay.
We did another music video. That's
Yeah.
what I want to do.
Given that it was used, I would stand back or wear eye protection if you blow that up. You don't know what's going to come out of that
You
doll.
wear a
But
lot of protection.
yeah, just like shots and TB, whatever. But
Well, isn't that special?
okay, so you guys have this video, and you decide that you're going to let the song just be what it is. People can interpret, as you said, how they want it. So was the because it's funny, I always say this, that I only make comparisons when I think that they're favorable, and I always have to hope that the person that I'm talking to actually agrees that they're favorable. Usually it is. Only one band I've ever interviewed, I made a comparison. They were like, we fucking hate that band. And I was like, shit. But I mean, I get all these different, and it's not that you guys sound like anybody, because you really truly don't. And I do agree, Harrison, that your timbre is very, very specific. And I think that that's a fantastic thing for a band, because it's like a thumbprint, right? You don't sound like anybody else. So when you start singing, everybody knows, okay, like I know who this is. I recognize this voice. But I mean, I get little bits of the Beatles in there.
Yeah.
I get little bits of the Doors in there, mainly instrumentally. And I love that those two things could even remotely seem to exist in the same song, because the Beatles and the Doors, nothing like each other. And I really I think this song is just, all of your music to me has a wink to it. There's a lot of personality in it. There's a big sense of humor in it. Even when, I mean, obviously if you get something like, Breakfast Song and you're listening to the lyrics, it's automatically funny. But even in stuff that is not overtly funny, it's there, and that's one of my favorite things with a band, is when I can get the personality from the music, and I get a sense of who the band is, what the relationships in the band are. Like, I knew from having researched this show that the four of you were like this, just super close and really like each other. And I always think that or the absence of that translates into the music. Like, if you all get along and you have that chemistry, the music is automatically going to be better. Because I've been in those bands, and then we've probably all been in the other band where not so much, and you don't necessarily click, and that reads too. So, I mean, I feel like Severed Ties really encapsulates so much about Pointless culture. It's the fact that the four of you get along. It's that you're all weird and you have strange senses of humor, and that you're all really good musicians, obviously. But I mean, did you guys finish that and go, yeah, you know what? This is going to be one of the big ones for us? Or did you not know in that moment? Or, I got a laugh over here. What's up, H1?
No, I think I felt like I was the one pushing this song so much. Like, I don't know if you guys can agree, but like, I feel like I really was kind of pushing us to record this, because especially the oohs and the ahs in the song, I knew it would have a lot of effect on people, because like it has an effect on me. Like, that's like frisson trigger shit right there. So it's like, I don't know, like I knew this song would probably go over well with people.
Yeah.
And so I said, we got to record that one. We got to record that one. And I have been begging the boys to record our next song that we just did the other day.
Okay.
Because I feel like it kind of almost has the same kind of vibe somewhat to it.
Yeah,
So
wait,
yeah.
was there pushback? Did anybody not want to do that song?
I didn't because I wasn't in the band at that point.
Well, you still recorded us. You
Yeah.
still recorded it.
No, we invited him to the studio.
Yeah, you were I saw you were a special guest at that point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So at what point in there, because I want to get back to also like, I always love to hear how everybody gets started in music in the first place, but I did want to play the song first. But so at what point then, Ben, did you go from being special guest to fourth member of the band?
So what happened was I was working second shift at that point. So they were practicing when I was at work all the time. So I really knew the band.
I invited him so many times.
Yeah. So and I was like trying to get on first shift for whatever job I do. It's not a good one, so it doesn't matter. But he invited me over to do some of the oohs and the ahs on the first tracking of Sever Ties. And then once the new year rolled around, I was in the band and we started practicing.
I think it's about a year next month that you're like officially were like really doing like a lot of rehearsals and custom stuff. Yeah.
And the second time we recorded we released another Severed Ties on the album, and that has me playing guitar as well.
Yeah.
With more like fuzz to it. So
yeah. All right.
We wanted to have Ben have his part on it, because it's a song we already had out, and we wanted to have him be a part of it as well.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think that's the four of you really, I don't think you could take anybody out and sound the same. And I know that might sound like a stupid thing to say about a band, but it's not always true. It's not always true that everyone is distinctive enough in what they're doing where you feel like the alchemy of that is so specific that if a member changed, you would really notice. And I think that some of that, I'm guessing, comes from, and so now for because you each as pairs, you knew each other for a long time. Had you each played together? Like Harrison and Ben, did you play together before other Harrison and Nolan? Did you so was there like musical? Okay. So let's start a little bit back from there. I want to hear I always call it the musician villain origin story, whatever that I don't usually call it that. I usually say it correctly, but your musical villain origin story. Like how did you guys get into music in the first place? And then talk to me about, how you played together before you were all in Pointless Culture. Who wants to start can start.
I'll let you guys go first this time.
Sure.
So
want to start, Nolan?
Sure. So I've been a musician most of my life. I started, playing like piano and stuff at a very young age. My dad's a drummer. He played guitar a little bit. So, I grew up in a house where instruments and music was readily available and accessible on a daily basis. And I just found a knack for it. Like, it's just how I like to spend my time, especially after school and trying to start stuff up over the years in high school and beyond, trying to start bands and stuff like that. But I grew up in a small town, and that was very difficult, especially at a younger age. So it wasn't until actually I met Harrison, drummer Harrison.
Oh, this is a cool story, actually. This is like, yeah.
My class, I was an old classmate, an old friend that I still regularly see. And I met Harrison in a limo for one of his birthday get-togethers or something like that.
Yeah, it was a birthday party.
Yeah. And
a birthday party with a limo? What are you, fucking Hefner? How old were you when you had a limo? What are we doing?
I was
going to
probably
the club, champagne room. What is happening here? This is like
we were chugging those tiny bottles of 7-Up.
We had our icy
rolling large. Okay.
And
okay.
I think we were probably like 10, 11 years old.
Baller.
I think I had to at least be like it might have been 11. I think I was 12. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We've just gone up a couple years, but okay. So you're 12 years old in a limo, just straight pimping, and then that's when you met. That was the moment.
Yeah. Well, we were driving on the highway, and we're like, we're gonna go to Newport. I'm like, well, that's far away, and we're like, we're gonna go pick up some friends, and next thing you know, we go to this guy's house and. We're like, oh, let's go see if Nolan's home. And I'm like, who's Nolan? And then he gets in the car and we just start talking about music immediately. And then
we clicked.
Oh my gosh, funny story. we friended each other on Facebook after. Never talked to each other. Never, ever talked to each other. We liked each other's
6
posts and
years,
stuff.
roughly.
Yeah,
Probably
and,
longer.
and I don't know. My fiance already knows about this, but I kind of had a thing with his sister for a little bit.
Okay, I love how you looked over, and I'm like, who are you looking at? And now I know why. Okay.
No, she it's funny. They're best friends now. So, but we had a thing, and I didn't realize she was Nolan's sister at first, and I was like, what the hell? Oh, I didn't know he had a sister. Never saw him post about it, nothing, like, ever. And so next thing you know, I'm going over to his house, and he's like, hey, man, I remember you. And I was like, yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
What the fuck?
6-7 years later, yeah.
But the funny thing is, and it was meant to be, we never worked out, because anytime I'd go over to her place, we would be jamming in his basement. So.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
Nolan with the C block. Okay,
Yeah.
so you then met in the limo, and then you became friends, but then you never talked, which is like one of the most guy things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then
Very much
you
so.
end up dating his sister and reconnect
Kinda.
that
We-
way.
I don't even
I'm
think it was
sure
official
his sister
ever, but yeah.
loved you for that, by the way. That
She
like,
hated it. Yeah.
It was a
But-
very interesting saga at the time, but it was, for what it's worth, I think it was worth it. Given where
It
we are
happened for a
today.
reason. It happened for a reason. Yeah.
sorry, Nolan's sister. You
okay.
sacrificed for the greater good of pointless
I
culture.
know.
so- Okay.
She had a role to play in it. But after that, as time went on from there, him and I tried starting our own stuff. Just the two of us. We
We used
even
to be
tried
in like
playing
metal bands.
heavier
Yeah.
music.
Well, I was going to ask you, was it always the same genre? Were you always sort of an indie
Nope.
alt rock? Okay, so did you hit did I hear you say metal?
Yeah.
So
We like
were
progressive
very,
metal. Yeah.
We were
Okay.
very big, and I still, and he still likes like Mastodon and like Gojira, bands like that, like
Yeah.
stoner metal.
Right
is
there. I
something
got
we
my
listen
working
to a lot
pass
of.
when I went to go. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's a
so we
I love that
we
you
listen
just
to them
have
a
like
lot.
all this shit like lying around. You're like,
yeah.
oh,
It
and
does.
then
I
here's
pray
one of
I
the
got
cats I
Jesus
had in middle
candles.
school.
Yeah.
You just have everything right there. Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, so you dabbled in metal.
Yep.
If you hadn't told me you had ADHD before we got started, buddy, I would have sensed my own.
Yeah.
We have radar for that.
I got cheese stick.
There's tray and these matches and the remote control.
Okay, so you after Nolan's sister gave up and succumbed to the bromance
That's probably the
here.
best way to put it.
You guys tried to get something off the ground, and then what? It was just the standard sort of like, oh man, we're gonna be the band, and then like nothing ever happened. It was okay.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah, it
I
was-
think. Tell them about
Go
our
ahead.
first gig. Our first gig.
Oh, you had a
boy.
gig.
So
What was the name of the band, and were we metal at this point?
Wait, we had
Kind of.
a couple different names. Oh, you got to tell them the Josh saga.
okay. Oh yeah. So this was around the time when he was still
it gets
kind of
juicier.
seeing my sister a little bit, and so we had a guy named Josh, and we were trying to play with him. We had a bass player, and we have a vocalist who you're still friends with. So we
Was
had, there's like 5
Josh
of us.
also dating your sister at the time? Was that
No,
like a
no.
requirement for? Okay, all right,
No.
just checking. Okay,
That's something Red Hot Chili Peppers would probably do, but not us. So
maybe
we
singing
would-
about
we would have
California
him on
while they
board,
did it. Okay, all right, you
And,
got everybody on board. Okay,
and it was very improvisational band jam type stuff. We couldn't really write anything solid. We tried, and it didn't really work out with Josh. He played a lot of lead guitar. He was also in the metal, and so I ended up getting kicked out of my own band from him, and they
Wait,
joined
what?
another band called Treason, and I thought it was the most
We committed
ironic shit
treason.
ever.
Oh, look at
And-
you!
Well, Eli
Wait,
told me
did you stay after they kicked Nolan out?
Well, he said
For
no
one
one's doing
recording.
That's a
that.
yes. That's a soft yes. That's a
Fuck off.
soft. Anything that
I didn't
wasn't
know
a
what's
no
going
was going to
on.
be all right. Okay, you
I
didn't
didn't know
know.
what's going on.
Okay, you were
I didn't
busy
mean
finding
any
cheese in your
harm.
room.
I felt bad.
Because Josh tried to kind of take over, and he and I didn't really click after a little bit, and it just wasn't panning out. We were trying to write stuff, and he would put his twist over, and it just really never got anywhere, and it got very tense.
Damn it, Josh.
So
okay. All right.
ironically,
so Josh
He's a
ruined
cool
everything.
dude, but I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a long time, so
yeah.
Well, he'll
he
probably
was-
be looking you up now, so you can have that conversation later. But
I was just
okay,
thinking
so-
about this. No
Yeah.
harm. No. Sorry.
No, but it's true. You know, it's how
It was all
panned
part of the
out.
journey. It was all part of the
Yeah.
journey.
And it's stuff that needed to happen to get to where we are right now.
There you go. Okay, so you guys had played together. Nothing really ever came of it, largely because of Josh. Who no, I'm gonna get everybody in trouble with Josh now. But okay, so it didn't click. You moved into treason. Did you H1 go into treason? This is starting to get into Fleetwood Mac territory here. We're in big drama land right now.
Yeah, I committed treason.
It kind of went there. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't work out either.
Okay.
We even got a photo shoot done. We thought we were badass, but no, that one did not work out.
Okay.
And then I don't really remember what happened from that point on. I think I was just kind of
after-
discouraged. I
After
don't know.
treason disbanded, if you
Oh,
can
yeah.
disbanded,
I couldn't remember.
him and I reconnected about a year later. I'm like, I want to try again. I want to try making music with you again. We had because
Actually,
I worked really well with Harrison since day one.
Yeah.
It was just the other members weren't exactly on par, not on par, but like on the same wavelength as we were.
Right. Didn't have the
So, like,
vision, didn't want the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him just randomly one night, probably like 2018-ish. So this wasn't long before
Not at all.
both Harrisons got into contact with each other for the first time, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Harrison Voltron. Yeah.
I know. So yeah, I was like, let's try something again, and it actually got a little bit.
A little bit.
We got a little bit more of somewhere better than
We didn't know how to record for shit though.
Yeah, they were the worst.
Most bands don't. Most bands don't
still
know.
don't.
But okay, so you at that point were kind of poised. You had reconnected. You were getting somewhere musically, and so now I'm going to bop over here to H2 and Ben. So you guys again knew each other 6th grade, whatever. So was it like did you have your standard issue middle school band? Like was it was it what genre? What were you doing, or did you just play together casually, or what was the deal?
Pretty much what happened was
It was love at first sight.
Yeah, so we met each other pretty much because we were like 2 out of 3 boys in a chorus class.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And then we're just like, well, I play guitar, and it's like, well, I play guitar. So we kind of just, clicked and just would go off into the corner when we had free time to like show each other our songs and like
Try to hide so we didn't have to sing in front of like 50 girls.
Yeah.
A little intimidating, but okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And
He was kind of my inspiration to get better at guitar because I was like, no way is this guy going to be better at guitar than me in front of all these people.
Yeah.
So I
love how you say inspiration, but it was actually like competition. That's
Oh,
like,
yeah. Totally.
you're like, he inspired me to be better than he was in front of the girls.
Suddenly-
Okay, so the tale as old as time. This was the thing that drove it. So you guys, did you have a band at some point? Did you escape chorus?
Yeah,
what
we
was
did.
the? Okay.
Yeah, in high school.
yeah, in high school. So like our friendship, like we've always been super good friends, but like it usually like goes within like months at that point
Yeah.
where like we wouldn't see each other for a while and then we like get back together and just be like perfect.
Hang
like,
out for 14 days straight.
Yeah, exactly. Like just really get into it. And
Yeah.
but in high school, I was really good friends with this older kid who was really into music too.
Okay.
And I would just literally go across, trespass through my neighbor's yard, go through the woods because his house was like on the street below. So like I would just like do that. And the old man would just like wave at me going through his lawn, like through the window. And we had like a basement set up there. So when I was friends with him, I invited Harrison to join our band too. And then we had our other friend James, and we made a band called Kaleidoscope Hall, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Great band.
Fundamentally broken just because we were all the songwriter / lead singers.
Yeah. 3
Okay.
singer-songwriters, 1 drummer, 1 band. So, yeah.
But I mean, like, were you? But like, how long had you been, playing guitar and all of that before that? Was it like, were you little kids? Was that kind of where it started?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
how did you
I
get
got
into?
my first guitar when my brother got his first guitar because I was so damn jealous of him that I wanted one. And then,
Aw.
so I taught myself how to play some stuff. And then my mom was like, "Oh, you could actually play a little bit of guitar. Maybe I'll get him lessons." Then I took lessons, and then I got grounded for grades, and then I just kept teaching myself how to play. And my oldest brother, Devin, and I were writing songs in the basement at the time. That's where some of the old songs come from. And then that's when he invited me to be part of Kaleidoscope Hall.
Okay. And Ben, you picked up guitar also obviously pretty little if you were already playing by like 6th grade. So
I mean, so my father always like encouraged me to do like music and sports and stuff like that. So when I was in elementary school, I was pretty much forced to play the piano for a while. And I really hated it. I really like couldn't sit down and read the sheet music. And like I had this old woman teaching me like every like week. And but then one day I went to my one of my oldest friends. I'm pretty sure my oldest friend, Jimmy. He's actually my barber now.
Dude, I saw him today.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. I think it's Thieves. I love that guy. Yeah, I was over at his house and he had guitar there. And he taught me how to play Smoke on the Water, and I was just hooked. And I was like, Dad, I'm doing guitar now. And then it kind of just went from there, and I just got super into classic rock and, just all of that. So I was playing probably from around like 4th or 5th grade. I was playing guitar.
When did you start taking lessons with Jerry?
I started taking lessons with Jerry in middle school, so probably like 6th or 7th grade.
Jerry.
Wait. Is this Cedar House, Jerry? Is this Jerry?
Yeah, I've known him.
You're kidding. Oh God. Okay, sorry, I keep forgetting. So for everybody watching, this is one of the coolest studios I think I've seen, right? It is literally in a cedar house. And this is your guy, this is your producer. He taught you how to play guitar?
Yeah. He taught me and then I forgot how to play guitar. But
he's a good teacher. Let's not get that wrong.
He'd always tell me, you got to learn the rules before you can break them. So I learned and I forgot and I just kind of did whatever. And eventually it was just me going to him being like, look at this thing I wrote. What do you think about it? And he'd give me ideas about like what I wrote on guitar and the songs I was writing. And
you took voice lessons from his wife. Too.
I did take voice lessons from his wife. Yeah.
Okay. So Jerry's been in the mix since before Pointless Culture existed by a long time.
In high school, our music teacher, Mrs. Haley, she was awesome. We had a music technology class, and I'm pretty sure you're doing night school at that point, weren't you?
Yeah, probably something like that because I'm so smart.
She got the school to pay for an hour for Ben and I just to go screw around in the studio with Jerry. And then the music technology class went and just watched how Jerry was recording us. That's how we got away with it. It was sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
See, I'm so happy to finally hear a band say that they had a music teacher that they loved, because usually it's like, oh, I took a lesson and it was terrible or whatever. You guys. So I mean, that's.
Yeah. I have this memory of Jerry. I think it's probably the proudest he's ever been of a guitarist. So in high school, I was bored one summer day. So I was like, what if I took my longboard and I took my battery-powered amp and electric guitar and I longboarded down hills and played guitar? So I was just like going down a hill, just playing Killing in the Name of, like on my longboard, like speeding down a hill. And he like pulls up next to me after that. And he's like, this is what you're doing now? Like
the mysterious Mr. Putnam.
Holy shit. He's like a Bond villain, but like a good guy. This is so this is what you're doing now. Okay, so you guys then you bonded early over guitar. That's know, and escaping all the girls in chorus. So okay, so so H1, I know you said since you were able to pick up sticks, you were into drumming. Like that was just
Yeah, I probably went through 67 first act drum kits from Walmart. No, I'm not even kidding. Like,
no, I believe it because I've seen them. So yeah.
Yeah, the little blue ones. My mom's got pictures from when I was maybe like 5 or 6, and that's all I did. It's all And
why the drums? Did you just always want to beat on things, or were you the kid that was always tapping out rhythms? Or
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know really how it started and why I kind of had a thing for it. But I don't know. It just kind of happened, and I can't complain. Like, I'm not like I will 100% say this. Like, and I know this, and I think the guys know this. I'm not like a great drummer. I can keep a beat. I can't do some of the crazy fancy shit, but I don't know. Like I'm okay. But I'm not great, but I'm okay.
Well, there's a difference, and I have a rule on this show, and everyone who's watching will know where I'm going with this because I never let people neg themselves at all. But like, there's a difference between. I mean, I appreciate being realistic about things, and being objective and all of that, but there's a difference between not being a flashy drummer and not being a great drummer. There are two different things,
right.
and one of the hardest things to do as a drummer, and you wouldn't think so because you would think like, well, that's a basic thing, is to just keep a steady beat and hold it down, and that's, there's not a lot of glory in that, like just like playing bass, and I always say that the rhythm section is the thing. If people are up and dancing, that's why it's the bass and the drums, and people don't really acknowledge that because the singers and the guitarists are always the ones that kind of get all the attention. But if you don't have a good rhythm section, you don't have a good band. So I appreciate what you're saying, but I've also heard you play drums, and so shut up, you're wrong. So but anyway, no, I appreciate that though. So I mean, you guys then really, like, all of your history coming together led you to where you are now, which I think is really cool, actually, because you two knew each other, and then the Harrisons had to collide somehow, and then automatically you brought in the other guy. That's a really, I don't know, I've heard a lot of stories of how bands met. This is a pretty fun one.
It was like a God-given match. I really think so. It was meant to be, I think.
And I mean, like, was it just right off the bat, the four of you together? Was it just easy? Was it just, did you go, this is it, this is what we wanted? Like, because you guys are coming from different genres. Okay. So there was no
practice. We were like, oh my God, it sounds so much better.
To be honest, I enjoy metal. Like, I love Mastodon. I love, there's a bunch of metal bands that I do enjoy. Like Nolan and I, like, we like Euphemism, the real, like, kind of black metal stuff. And but deep down, I've always had like like a soft spot in my heart for that real pretty indie kind of music, and I've always wanted to play it. And I just never had a chance to do that with anybody. So Harrison's music is, I love every single song that he's written, and it's cool to just to kind of put another voice into it with the drums. So it's been an honor to kind of do that, and it's cool. Like, I'm glad that we are what we are, and that we are the genre that we are, because I wouldn't want it any other way.
So did you choose that consciously, or was it when you got together? Did you say, let's just jam on things and see how it turns out? Was it, I mean, obviously I know you started Harrison with a bunch of songs that you had written and labeled new recording 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, but like, was it like, this is our genre, this is what we want to do? Or was it, we sat down, we start playing together, and this is where it went?
I think that when we sat down and we started playing, I just liked what I heard. It was amazing. I like so much different music, and that it really started after high school. I was really a little bit more judgmental towards music when I was in high school and all that stuff. And then got out of high school, and I've been with my fiance forever. And she really opened up my eye to music. And I was like, oh my God, there's so much more to play. So I wanted to start writing all these crazy songs where I wanted them to be like soft, but heavy, and, maybe kind of folky, but also grungy. And then have something like, oh, that sounds like Jack Johnson, but why is there metal in the drums?
Right.
Like that. And then we all started playing
Jack
together.
Johnson with Gain, exactly. So wait, what were you into? What was your like judgmental phase with music? Were you like a genre? Was it like, I only listen to this?
Punk rock. I was diehard Green Day fan.
Okay.
It's so hard. I loved a lot of different kind of music. I liked a lot of Johnny Cash too. That was really fun. And Jack Johnson, I loved him so much. But
that is quite the grab bag.
Yeah.
You're like punk and Jack Johnson and Johnny Cash, and those are not things.
Rap too at the same time. It was just like
a little bit of 21 Pilots in there.
No, I didn't like pop at this point. When my fiance first showed me 21 Pilots, I was like, shut this off, please.
Oh, no.
And now I go.
Now you got a signed poster of them. Turn that camera around. There's a signed
I go work with all these, wicked old dudes on the construction site, and I blast 21 Pilots, and they're all making fun of me, and I'm singing right along.
Okay, so you even though when you were narrow, you were narrow across a bunch of very different genres. So you had the seeds there of being open to things. And so we had some metal coming in, we had punk, we had some country, we had some folk. You know, what about you, Ben? What was your situation musically at the time?
So at the time of what? At like
just kind of coming into the band, you know, sort of moving, you know.
Well, at that point I kind of solidified my love for like pretty much like, so in middle school, I was like, I like my dad's music. Okay, so I was like super into Pink Floyd, into Led Zeppelin. You know,
he got me into a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like all those like older bands. But then like when I met my older friend in high school, who was like my neighbor, he like showed me stuff like, you know, like Cage the Elephant and like Arctic Monkeys and Tame Impala and Jack White, like all those guys. So I kind of like have a blend of that, and we actually recorded like Kaleidoscope Hall. We went down to Tennessee and we recorded an album with I did 5 songs, he did 5 songs, and our Chris Jed, he did 5 songs.
It's about time you name dropped him. You keep saying my friend. I'm like, just say Chris
he's
Jed.
actually in a band too.
He's amazing.
He's in a band called Blackpool Mecca down in Nashville right now.
Yeah.
But he went to Dark Horse Recording Studio for like the course. So we got to do it for free down there, pretty much.
Wow. Okay.
Taylor Swift recorded her first album.
And
pooped on the same toilet
the
as her.
styles are so different between.
She's probably going to write a song about it. Just watch out. So
he broke my heart.
so the styles between the three of us, Chris Jed, him, and me. He did like, you know, more like bluesy, like folky, like rock kind of stuff. Chris Jed did more like indie rock, kind of like psychedelic-y, like punk rock stuff. Okay. And I did more like alt rock, almost like you know, like 90s-esque kind of like alternative rock.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am, but I really do enjoy playing like the type of music that we do now, which is like just really indie, kind of like rock and roll, folky kind of.
It goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere.
And
Go ahead. What were you
I was
gonna
just gonna say, and adding Ben, he's put his sweet signature all over it. It's been great. Like some of the new stuff you're gonna hear, it's you'll know
all the new
it's from
stuff.
Ben.
I can't wait.
But
there's this one song, Warning Signs, that's just going to be like, that's way too heavy, but it's so great.
No,
No,
what have we learned? Yeah.
That's a good one.
But you guys, though, I mean, I do feel like I hear some of everything that you've talked about in your music. You know, I do. It's maybe, you know, ghosts or echoes of it. It's not like straight out metal. It's not straight out, you know, this or punk shit. But I mean, like you have a breakfast song. That's, you know, that's got that hard punk out. That's like right in your face. It's up there. Like you do have these elements where I can sit there and say, okay, you know what? As you guys are talking and describing the music that you liked and stuff that you played and stuff that you listened to, I could, I can hear that. I can hear that. You know, I can hear sometimes in the tones of the guitar is a little Johnny Cash. I can hear sometimes, you know, that's what kind of getting into that Doors classic rock stuff. So I love that you have an identifiable sound that is indescribable, you know, like it's a weird combination because you wouldn't think, and the fact that everything that I've heard you do, and granted, it's not a ton of stuff that's out at this point, you know, I mean, so Can't Stand the Rain, debut EP, right? You know, you've got these 5 songs or whatever on there, and they're all completely different from each other, like completely different from each other. And yet they all fit on you guys so well, which is kind of a magic trick that you pulled out of the magic hat. So, but I mean, but it really, thank you. I appreciate that. I wish I had said I planned it, but I didn't. My brain just, but so I mean, like, I love that. I'm not sure going from song to song as I'm from first listening to everything, what's coming next, you know, and I mean, how much of what is on that EP was written collectively, and how much of that started with you, Harrison, where, you know, these were things you had written? Is it a mix of things? Like where did the songs that are on the EP come from, and how much of that was a band thing versus a you thing?
That was all songs that were written prior. Okay. And I think what we're trying to do is just get out all the material that we had when we started as a band.
Yeah.
Predominantly stuff that I'd written beforehand. And then we've added, I don't know, I want to say less than 6 songs or 7 songs that I've written since we've become a band. Okay. And we've worked together on them, you know, like the songs, we have quite a few songs on the album that we're working on right now that we all wrote as a band, and that's where it's going to start to show, you know, all the different music styles that we all like to do on our own. They're all going to clash together and be in those songs. They sound amazing. I'm so excited to put them out. And I actually kind of talked to the guys. I'm like, you know, if you guys don't want to do this old song that I wrote, it's totally cool. Like, you know, maybe we save it for like 2 or 3 albums down the road. And they're like, no, we got to get it out right now. It sounds so good. We're going to do it. It's like, I just love hearing that from them. It's awesome. It's very reassuring. So yeah, the EP was all old songs. Probably half the songs that are going to be on the album are songs that I wrote. We're going to have a song that Ben wrote back before he was with us. And
okay.
The other half of the songs are all going to be collaborative.
But I mean, even things, though, I imagine that you brought from your old, you know, personal discography, you guys are, it's not like you sat there and said, okay, Nolan, here's what I want you to play on the bass, or here's what I mean, like everybody was still adding and creating.
And then it's like, oh, this is what I'm going to play. He's genius.
His bass lines are always way better and more complex than whatever bullshit I can come up with guitar for, or whatever.
The song isn't a song until Nolan's playing on it.
It's true.
Love that. Look at that. The bass love. Look at this. This is like, I don't know, anybody who
Ben, no.
But no, but I think that's kind of the thing, is that, you know, even those songs, you know, that started with you, Harrison, like they began there, but I'm still, that's why, you know, when I'm listening to you say, oh, you know, you're really going to hear where we're all coming from, that I feel like, I'm sure it's even more on the things that are completely collaborative, but I already feel like we get a lot of that, you know, from the EP, because it is, you know, okay, what's H1 doing on the drums here? What did Nolan decide to play on the bass? You know, and I mean, is that something then that do you just jam at rehearsal and you come up with what you want to come up with? Is that the, you know, you sort of play an old song and go, here, you know, here are the bones of the thing. How does it turn from, you know, a Harrison original into what goes on the EP as a PC song?
I usually have no idea what I'm doing. like most of the time, like even that song we sent you earlier, I didn't really write or solidify the parts until I got into the studio and waited for those guys to track a couple.
Okay.
I have a video of Harrison saying, how the fuck did did Ben just pull that out of his ass? Like,
word for word.
Yeah.
So Breakfast Song, our Jerry, when we were recording it, he was actually poking fun at me with that one, because that was like the first song I like wrote a part for Pointless Culture.
Okay.
Because that riff I just go down one string.
Yeah.
Like, well, I was like kind of lost in the beginning of like where I kind of fit in the band for a while there. But like now that I know all the songs a lot better, I'm like sitting down like with a loop pedal on my own time now.
Yeah.
Write stuff and see what I can do. And usually it makes the song sound like way different than it usually would have.
Which we really
love. When I say that I wrote a bunch of these songs, they don't sound the same as when I wrote them. You know, I used to record them in the basement with my oldest brother, like amateur recordings from 2017. And I like to look back at those and then listen to what we've done with them now.
Yeah.
Yes, leaps and bounds different.
Yeah.
And I keep collecting new pedals, so the sound keeps changing. I just got a tremolo pedal that's supposed to come in. I don't want to use it on that new song, do another track over, because there's some tremolo parts that could be pretty cool there.
Yeah,
did you buy that pedal board that I sent you?
I did. It should also be here next week sometime.
I've got one pedal, and it's a Dan Electro fuzz pedal.
That's it. You are. Wait a minute. You are a guitarist. I'm sorry. This is breaking news, everyone. You are a guitarist that has one pedal.
Yeah. Well, no, I have a bunch of pedals, but that's the only.
All right. I was gonna say. All right. That's the only one you use. Okay. Yeah. Because I thought you were legally required to have like a pedal for every appendage minimum. So okay. So this is. All right. But so I mean, so that's the stuff that I find fascinating, because, you know, you have a structure for a song, you know, and whatever, you know, Harrison and Devin had done, you know, Lo These Many 7 years ago or whatever. I love how you're like, I love to look back on it now, and I was a youngster, you know, dude, it was not that long ago. But I know what you mean, because
like 9 years ago.
I know, but math, but okay, but yeah. So I mean, like, you know, you sit there and you say, okay, this is where it started, right? Like, this was the idea that I had in my head. This was what we put down. but then you bring it to the guys, and the guys completely, they add their own spin, their own flavor. It changes, and I imagine changes also how much when you record it do you deviate from what you thought you were going to do? Because I got this sense from you guys that you guys might go into the studio and just be like, wait, you know what? I think I'm going to do this here instead. And it's something does that happen? Or are you pretty, once you go in with Jerry, you're kind of locked in? Or
So we've been changing up our recording routine lately since we've been starting this album.
Okay.
Before, with Jerry, we'd go in, we'd set up as a complete band and just play the song. And then he'd send us a rough mix eventually, and we'd change what we want.
Okay.
And that was great because it gave us a lot of time to think. And that's how like all that stuff in Nightmare Telephone came to fruition, like the little voicemail and stuff. And then and then when you're listening to the breakfast song, like the toaster sound, that was all.
I recorded that. I did that.
Yeah, that was the little tink of the cup.
They're not royalty free. He actually set up a microphone and I did that.
Yeah, it was awesome. And that was all afterthought. And when we go in, we kind of have an idea, but we're open for interpretation.
Okay.
I like hearing what these guys have to say about it because I hate just dragging them into, like, for the CP. I don't like dragging them in to record my song. That's why I like when they choose the songs that we're going to record. So anything they want to add to it, I'm totally game. It's totally like, whatever you think, let's try it.
Yeah. So no, what's the new, if you're not just going in and setting up as a band now, is it that everybody just kind of goes and does their parts when they can, or what's the new structure you were talking about?
It's kind of this, it's not the same thing. We go in and record the whole thing, but then we go through and analyze every part. Like Harrison went through, completely did his drums, punched in on a few spots to fix it and all this stuff. Then we went through and deleted each part and re-put them over it, and we're really making sure we're getting it exactly what we want.
Yeah.
Opposed to like this nice live sound that I feel like we had on our EP where we're all jamming in the room together. We're really going and trying to critique it so we have the song to be exactly what we think it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're really refining at this point. You're doing it as a studio album more than a
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, we just want to, I mean, not that we're not proud of the EP, but we really want to be proud of this album and, not have any, I wish we changed that when it's out, or a little, we every little detail matters on this. And we're kind of in a different recording situation now. So when we wanted to record these last song,
we had picked 2 songs because we didn't know which one we wanted to record.
Okay.
And for the last 2 practices before we went into record, we probably just we played those 2 songs just over and over and over, and then
really drilled in.
Go off track and jam a little bit, and then we come back and just hammer out those songs so we knew exactly what we wanted to do.
So I mean, but that I think that's fitting though, because this is where the 4 of you are really truly making the music from scratch for the most part, and for everyone's ear to be on it equally from the beginning, rather than, okay, this is something that started with something that Harrison did or Harrison and Devin did, and now, we're morphing it into what we do. Like, this is, in a way, it's kind of your true debut, I guess, because you're all contributing equally to, I mean, like, and what is that like when you sit down to write something new? Because I know you said, Harrison's like, there's no plan, there's like no whatever, but like when you say, okay, we're going to write some stuff for the EP, like the new album, what does that look like? Is that at rehearsal? Somebody comes in, with an idea? Do you just jam and shit falls out and then you go,
this guy comes out with a shredding freaking solo.
Okay.
And then Nolan and I pick up and just start playing some chords, and Harrison goes, and then comes in on the drums and then screams some gibberish. And that's how the last 3 songs.
No, literally, it's all Ben.
I literally just stand there, get plugged in, and then I just like play the first thing that comes to mind just to warm up. And then they're like, well, that's good. And they still play.
There's a song.
No, he's not lying.
Yeah. So
okay, so you guys are very much then a guitar driven band in that way, in terms of how you write your music. Okay.
Well, we also have some stuff up in the air right now that, might not make it onto the next album, but is food for the next album after that. But, we all kind of bring in ideas, bounce it off each other, and then go off and see what we could do with it.
I love that though, because I mean, and I do talk to a lot of bands who work that way, where it's like a thing that I keep hearing is someone will go off to get something to drink or go pee or whatever, and they come back and somebody's noodling on the bass or noodling on the guitar or whatever, and they're like, wait, do that again. I hear that a lot.
So
do
true.
that again. Do
Always
that
happens.
again.
Right now,
And-
he's probably
and-
gonna go do it.
Ben has to tinkle.
That's exactly.
I was like, is he going to the bathroom or is he going to write a song? We never know with Ben,
Probably
but
both.
maybe both, right? Yeah, but I mean, so like that then puts you in a position where you all just sit there. Ben comes up with something, and then how much from the time when you begin it to when you feel like you've got it and you're recording it, does it change? Is it pretty much locked in from whatever you guys start jamming on at the beginning? Or is this like something where you say, okay, now we have the basic riff, we have an idea of what we want to do, now let's sit down and write it? Or is it basically written through just jamming and rehearsing?
Well,
It's kind of in between both. We'll solidify a few parts, we'll get our structure down, but then we most likely come back to certain sections and revisit them and tweak up some riffs. One of the songs we're going to put on the album, which is going to be a single called Now What Have We Learned, was kind of like that. We had a bit of a interlude section that we were kind of tinkering with for a little bit here and there, and we weren't really sure how to like go about for creating the progression.
Okay.
And then, we kind of came back to that after we got the choruses done, and we want to get the structure of the song kind of, that foundation all set, and then we just come back and kind of adjust these little pieces here and there. So it's kind of a bit of both. It also depends on the song's context, how we're, arranging it and how we're playing through it. But it's nice to have that kind of hybrid process, just because it can help with the creative flow a little bit better.
Yeah, you're not locked in, and you're also not stuck on a part and going, well, fuck, how are we supposed to get from point A to point B here? It sounds to me like you guys are leveling up a bit, which is impressive, because it didn't sound like you needed to. I mean, I went back and badgered you guys to upload, your sampler, with the demo songs, because I like to hear everything. And even there, I wasn't like, yeah, these are clearly demos. Like they didn't sound like demos to me. They sounded. I mean, I've gotten. Well, I mean, but now that's all relative.
He wants to delete them. He wants.
I never wanted them to be reposted.
See, but like, for example, like, out of everything that I heard, The Little House is one of the prettiest things that you guys did. Like, that is really,
we're gonna do it again.
Sounds even better with that part.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I'm sure,
wait,
but again, I mean, like, it's the idea that, where you began was already, some musicians would look at that sampler demo and go, this is done, and it doesn't mean they're not good musicians. It doesn't mean they're not capable of better. It's just like that there are a lot of people who wouldn't look at that and go like, I want to burn it and never have it see the light of day, and I get it, because you guys clearly, as laid back as you are and as much fun as you like to have, you want this to keep growing. You want PC to be, and I mean, look, you guys, what was this, September? Reverb Nation, like, that's a big fucking deal. They were, sorry, I should say, like, highlighted as emerging indie artists. Like, that's a big deal,
Yeah,
did you not know that, Ben?
I forget about that.
Oh,
Harrison doesn't use Facebook.
Yeah.
But I mean, I mean, like, you guys are clearly getting attention, and it's, so I understand that you have a trajectory. What are you giggling? What's the giggling?
Farting over here.
Oh, he's farting.
No. You both are.
See, now this is what Taylor Swift is going to be writing about. I told you.
We all know. We know everybody by their fart smell. It's kind of that.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. I feel like that's a song in itself.
Yeah.
Instead of recording voicemail, you just have like, a thing where everybody takes a turn and just toots right into the microphone. But I mean, but like my point really there was that, even where everything began, when you didn't feel like you had the most solid handle necessarily on it, or you weren't doing it in a way that's, you know, more granular, more intense, like what you're doing now, where you're really sitting down and going, okay, you know what, this is all good. You know what, like the second half of the bridge needs to come back out. We need to work this out here. We need to throw another, you know, bass line down on this and thicken it up a little bit. Now you're in that super professional, if I can use that word with you guys, but like, you know, this idea of really picking it apart with the way that studio musicians do, right? And there is a very big difference between being a live band primarily, even live in the studio, and like recording things as studio musicians. So I understand the ear is different, but even where you began was already at a point, based on the demos that I heard, that a lot of people would go, yeah, okay, we're good. I like this. I'm done. And again, like, I just love that there's no combination of songs across, you know, the 7 or whatever that I heard where I would go, these two are a lot alike, you know, or these two are a lot alike, or, you know, okay, well, this is their style. This is their genre. You're within a frame, right? But you guys are iterating something else, you know, and I really do think, having talked to you more now, that a lot of that is down to all of the different shit that you bring historically, you know, in terms of genre and musical interests, even if it's not stuff that you played, just the things that you tell me that you're listening to. Like, I hear all of that, you know, and I think that it gives you a lot of playground to use, right? Because you're not saying, oh, well, it has to sound like a Jason Mraz song, or it has to sound like a Jack Johnson song, or it has to sound like a this or a that. You can sit there and have, you know, this really pretty, you know, severed ties kind of, you know, vibe, and then you can come out with a Nightmare Telephone and be like, wait, we're doing what now? Like, we're where now? You know, and I mean, I'm not going to call what you did there rap. But you were definitely talking real fast. So, I mean, where on Nightmare Telephone?
He's no Slim Shady.
Yeah, I mean, where did that come from? Because it fits the song really, really well. But I'm sitting there and I'm in the groove for the rest of it. And I'm even hearing like, who does that song? Somewhere Only We Know. Keen?
Oh,
you
Keen.
know that one? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm getting a little, what did I do?
That's my favorite band of all time.
Okay, so on Nightmare Telephone,
I bought tickets. I'm going to see him in Boston.
That's kind of the feel that I got, right? And then all of a sudden, we get this really cool guitar solo, and then you just busting out with your Eminem thing. So what talk to me about that. What was the decision there? I love it. I was really curious.
Well, so my wonderful fiance Claire got me hopelessly addicted to 21 Pilots, and I love the way that they portray their point of view through angsty, like, white boy rap. I don't know. I was like, hey, I'll give it a try, and that's how my telephone happened. Okay. And I really liked it, and I've done it a few times since then, and you'll be seeing more of it.
Oh, okay. So you're using that kind of feel again on different stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not, when my mom used to clean the house when I was a kid, she'd put on like Biggie Smalls and Kanye West and stuff like that. So
I'm that mom.
I've heard it for a while. My brother, when I got into high school, he was listening to a lot of Odd Future, Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, like all them. And we used to have freestyle rap battles and stuff like that. Yeah, I used to write rap beats for my brothers and my cousins and stuff, and all.
Okay.
I loved it. It was so much fun, and so I'm trying to incorporate that a little bit into it because, it's a pointless culture and it involves everybody.
It just reminded me that I saw Tyler the Creator in concert once.
I saw Tyler the Creator in concert once, and Kali Uchis opened, and I almost got into a fight over it.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
She sings Telepathy or that Moonlights. She's really good. Play her on the radio.
Wow, those were all words, and that's all I know. There was a lot going on there but I mean, but like that song, again, completely different from Severed Ties. And then Sirens, it's bluesy, it's like a little rockabilly, it's kind of 50s, like relative to where the songs began. How close were what we got on the EP to where you started? Like, was that what it sounded like at the beginning? Did it have that kind of jump feel to it, or
Sirens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, what? Where did this come from? Like, what is going on?
That one was always high energy about running away from the cops and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When we played it with the band for the first, I don't know if it was the first time or the second and third, whatever, but we just went back and forth between playing it really uppity and then that really swing vibe you get during that. And we couldn't choose which one to do. And we were like,
why choose?
Yeah, let's just do both. And that's how it went. It was just another one of those old songs that I had. And the band really ran with it. They made it sound way more than what it was.
They really had to slap me in the face to get the solo right.
Ben hated it.
I don't know. I wasn't very good at doing like the bluesy, like folky rockabilly solo type. So
that is a very different kind of guitar than what you usually do. So I could totally see that. It's a whole different thing. So, I mean, so you hated it, or was it just that it took you a while?
It took me a while. Like, we recorded some stuff, and I was like clearly not really like too into it. So they were like, "You got to go do it again." So I went and I did it again, and we got some good stuff, and that's what it is now. So I'm happy with what I did. But
okay, all right. As long as you got happy with it.
It was also kind of a request. No one's grandmother really wanted us to play that song, so we played a show one time, and she was there, and she literally was like, "I'll give you money if you go record this." So
she's an amazing.
Okay, that's all you have to say to a band is, "I'll give you money." That's pretty much it. Okay, so that was a Nolan grandma request. I love it. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so, but then Magic Hat. Okay, now I know somebody really. Now, Harrison, you didn't think that was ever gonna land on an album. Right. No. And then
I didn't think anybody would like that song.
No, but why though? Because I love it. I do. And from what I gather, the other three guys agree with me because they kind of busted your balls until it got on the EP, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I was in this headspace for a while, and I really wanted to be in a really high energy band.
Okay.
And stuff. But I don't know. I feel like these guys talked me out of it. I'll let you keep going, Harrison, on the topic.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not much, but it's more of just like, I knew it was different. I knew it was pretty intricate. Like the whole, like, I feel like I can, from being a program director and having to pick music and having to like, I have an ear, and I'm not trying to,
No,
like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
I have an ear.
Your job to know what's gonna,
Yeah, and like, I like, with the song that we just recorded this week, like I know that one's gonna do well. Like I know, like I've listened to it probably 952 times since we left that studio. But like I knew Magic Hat was gonna be one of those songs, and we just surpassed over 1,000 views on YouTube, and I've had it up for like a couple days today. So it's like we're getting a lot of love, and it's kind of cool. And I'm pretty stupid for not putting our shit on YouTube before, because now it's actually like performing better than our Spotify, which we're not currently on. We'll get to that later. But but I knew Magic Hat was going to be one of the songs that would go over well, and that's why I pushed it so hard. Because I'm like, we have to record this. I'm like, there's just something about it. So
that one I really. And when I was first listening to it, what I kept thinking was, it's like if Fleetwood Mac and Smashing Pumpkins had a baby, it would be this song.
Really cool.
And like because I hear elements of Dreams, especially at the beginning, not that it sounds like it, not that
I hear what you're saying,
but you know what I mean? Like it's evocative of that, right? And then I start hearing Today by Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm like, okay, like, and again, I mean, I'm a musician my entire life, and so I've heard, and especially now, being in the indie music community, I've heard a lot of music that I never would have listened to. A lot of, a year ago, if you had started talking about black metal bands and started listing them off, I would have been like, what? And now I'm like, oh yeah, of course, because I have to listen to all this stuff, and I get to really more than have to, but like, I will recognize, feelings or tones or whatever in something. And I'm not sitting there saying like, okay, they took a riff or they took whatever, but like those are two hugely popular songs, right? And if there's anything about the song that reminds anybody of anything even remotely like that, or one of them, you know you've got something there that people are going to like. And what you've done though is create something entirely different, right? You know, like it's kind of mellow, but then it's, you know, the tone on that, the guitar in that song is just, I love it. It's beautiful. It's so warm and round. And what are you laughing at? What?
Well, so Jerry actually bought a guitar after we recorded that song because he was talking about how much he liked our guitars together so much and how well we complemented each other. I was playing this guitar for that, right? Or no, that was for size. I was playing this Jazzmaster back here.
Okay.
He was like, man, those P90s, I love them. They belong with a Rickenbacker. And so I believe he took all the money from our EP and went and custom ordered a Rickenbacker because he was like, yeah, I ordered one. They're building it right now. It'll be in a couple months.
He's like, I want you to play it.
Yeah, while we were there in the control room, he bought
I'm convinced it has like an engraving that says like from Jerry Love Ben. He's just waiting to give it to me. That's what I'm hoping at least.
You're like,
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
bought
with
your
like a
pedal, too.
subliminal message now, Jerry, you will give me the guitar. Just drive by him on your longboard going, give me the guitar. But I mean, again, like I really and I love that interplay between the two guitars from like the bridge to the out. It's just there's so much going on there, you know. And then to end just on the vocals alone, like that song, it seems so crafted to me in the best way, not in like a, oh, you know, it's cerebral or like it's a formula or anything like that. It's just everything is very much in its place. You know, the background, the ahs, the harmonies, the way that the echo is on the backing vocals and all the sonic space that it fills in there. There's nothing missing in that song. Not that there isn't anything else either, but like that one particularly grabbed me. And so when I saw, Harrison, that you were like, I was so surprised because I would have thought you would have written that and gone, yeah, right, that one's going to be great. We're definitely putting that on there. And just to hear that you had to be battled, you know, to put your own song on there. And I mean, and it's really just, it's so, it shows not everything that you can do, because I know there is that big energy, high energy stuff that's on a lot of the other, you know, things that I've heard you do that isn't there, but it doesn't need to be there. You have other songs that do that, you know? And I think in a way it's really, because Severed Ties is kind of in the middle of that, you know, there's energy, but it's not like balls out energy, you know? And, you know, Breakfast Song is definitely like, we're gonna have a good fucking time for the next couple minutes. And like, that's where we are. And so it really, I thought what you guys picked to go on the EP was really kind of brilliantly chosen, because everything works together so well, even though it's all so different from each other. So there's that, because it, you know, I've heard albums, you know, over the years where you could tell people are like, oh, and now we're going to do this kind of song. And now we're going to show them that we can do this kind of song. And it's a little bit of whiplash. You're like, what the fuck am I, like, I'm just settling into my alt rock thing over here. And now we're in punk, and now we're over here and we're in, you know, rockabilly or whatever. And you're doing that by accident, you know, in the sense of not like you weren't like, okay, now we're going to have this kind of song in that way. But it doesn't feel disjointed. It doesn't feel like you don't have an identity. It feels like you have all of the identities, which is, I think, perfect, because you do. Like, that's the band, you know, it's why, you know, a lot of bands will say things like, you know, we don't sound like anybody else. And then secretly people like, you know, the narrator's like, but in fact they do, you know, and like, but you guys really don't. You really don't, because, and some of it is absolutely, I agree, Harrison, down to timbre, but that's not all of it, you know. And Nolan, I do think, you know, we were given a lot of attention, and rightly so, to Ben, but I do think the bass has a lot to do with that. You know, even the song that I got to hear, as I do, I got to hear a preview of what the guys have been working at. What was that one called again? On My Own?
On My Own.
Yeah, and just sat here and just fucking like bopped along to it, smiling, whatever. The lyrics are great, very clever, as they always are. And then about, if I'm remembering correctly, halfway to 2/3 through, Nolan, you just pop. You're all over that. You're walking all over that. And that was the thing that made me smile the biggest, because first of all, I love when you can really hear bass in a song. I really do. And then I love when what the bass is doing is not just doom, 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 doom. You're walking all over the place there. So I mean, when you write, are you thinking like, okay, I've heard how the song goes and now I'm going to go home and I'm going to write a bass part? Are you feeling it in that moment? Is it a little bit of both? Like, where's the creativity from on that?
So yeah, so thank you very much, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I strive to be like both in the pocket bassist and someone who can get a little creative on the side too. I don't want to be a root note every single time. I don't want to play roots and fifths the whole song. I want to use the right scales, the right, motifs, etc. to craft it and make everything complement each other. So when it comes, so like for example, Magic Hat's bass line, it's probably one of my favorite ones to play.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that like I found notes that mesh well with each chord.
Yes. And not always the one you would expect either, which I really appreciated because it gives so much texture. And I think it is a big part of why I love that song so much because, like I said, all that sonic space is filled. You're not just hitting the easy third or whatever. You know what I mean? So go ahead, keep going. Talk to me more.
And for Magic Hat too, like that exact bass line, because before I was doing more root notes. And then when we were in the studio, before we actually recorded that song, I was like, I got to add some more to this. I got to bring out some energy. I got to dial it back in certain spots. So for the intro and until he sings, I found those other notes in between. And then when he sings, I put more of the attention on him again.
Right.
So that I'm not overpowering him with all these other notes too much.
And you're not going to clash with anything he's singing either.
Exactly. Yeah. So I carefully try to construct everything I play. And even when we did On My Own last week in the studio, like there were notes I wasn't hearing until we recorded it. And I told Harrison, I was like, when he was doing his guitar track, I'm like, dude, I didn't know you were playing this note the whole time. I was a fret off until tonight. And once I did my part, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what was missing. And then from there, I constructed through the rest of the riff and I added those little nuances that I want to add.
Oh, it's great. No, it's great. It really, and you guys, I think you do it personality wise, cause sometimes I'll interview bands that have multiple members and they'll be like one person that does more of the talking. And then like one guy that I'm like, hi, can you say anything? And like, you're all here, you're all participating, you're all adding your own thing. And it mirrors the music very well because I hear everybody and I love some of that is absolutely down to Jerry. If you got somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing in production and the way that they're mixing it, you hear everybody. It makes such a difference because I've said it a million times. You can have a great fucking song that gets destroyed in production. And you can have kind of a piece of shit that if it's produced right, people are going to like it, because it just sounds the way they want, the ear wants it to sound, and so I love when you have great songs that are beautifully produced because then it's like, you've got all of the things that you need. So some of that is definitely down
it's gonna
to Jerry and his ear. But you guys, I think, I can tell that even because sometimes bands will not listen to each other at all when they play. And I never get that. It's like you're up on stage and everybody's got their thing and they know what they want to do and they're just doing it, and it's like, okay, well, but if you're listening to what Nolan's doing over here, Ben, then you might be doing this instead. Or, Harrison, if you notice that, other Harrison is going over here, maybe you're going to fall into a pocket more with him and what he's doing on guitar, or maybe you're going to lay back a little bit and let the foot. And I hear you guys listening to each other, and I, and I see it in the live shows that you guys have, but I also hear it in the studio stuff, and that's remarkable to me because sometimes that translation from stage to studio, you lose a lot. You lose energy, you lose chemistry, you lose that thing where you're all looking at each other and you're all listening to each other. And I don't hear any of that. And I think some of that is down to being basically live recordings altogether. But I'm betting that even what you guys are doing now, where you're going back, it's still going to be there. Because I think that's just how Pointless culture makes music. I think that's baked in for you guys. And I love it because it really makes me pay attention to everything. And I mean, I listen to everything, but I go back and I re-listen to things when I have time. And, every time I go back and I listen to something, I hear something I didn't hear the time before it. I'll hear, something, Nolan, that you did where I'm like, oh, I would have thought he would have gone here and he went here. And I love that because then look at the chord that he created or look at the harmony that he made with what Harrison was singing. And like, oh, and like Nolan and H1, you guys, like you clearly are so locked in with each other, and it allows for each of you to go off in your own way, but the other one's holding that space so that when you come back, you're still there. And then Ben comes in and sprinkles his magic dust and all of that, and again, and then on top of it, you have this cherry, pardon the expression of Harrison's voice, where it's like, it doesn't sound like anybody else. And so I love a band where the band is the band and it's not like a person's show and then the supporting artists, you know what I mean? Like there are great bands like that, but like, you guys are such a team and a unit. And I love that I see it on stage. I love that I hear it, on the recordings. And I love that I see it in the interview, because that I think is that's the thing that when bands can't connect, that's what they're missing. It's that chemistry, it's that, being in each other's pocket and understanding what everybody needs to do to make the song sound the best it can sound. And so like, I just, part of why I wanted to talk to you guys today was to be able to say that to you, that's, I think, there's a lot that will recommend you to success further than what you've already done. But I'm betting that's the real secret sauce in there, that there's just, it's all over everything that you guys do, and a lot of bands don't have that, so that's a special thing, which I really enjoy. So that was very long blah, 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 on my part, but I had to get it out before I
means a lot.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And I wanted to just touch quickly on, there are only a few that we really haven't mentioned, but talk to me about The Line's Been Drawn, because that was another OG back in the music store, right? That the two of you were. Okay, so what was the? Because that's where I hear the punk. That's where I really hear it. So what's the story there?
Well, I'm sure you heard the demo recording of it, which
I did, the one that you hate, apparently. But yes, but I did hear you have on something. I don't remember what site it was, because I know right now, usually I go to Spotify just, because that's where most people have their stuff, and you guys are not there at the moment. But by the time this is up, they will long be back. So, we don't have to worry about that. But there was a sample of a version of The Line's Been Drawn that wasn't the one that I heard of the demo. And I don't know if that's the new one you guys are working on. Do you know what I'm talking about? I can't remember what.
We play it very often, and we usually start our shows with it. And it's one of my favorite songs that we play, just because it's so high energy and it's it's very stick it to the maniosis, a little bit of Jack Black in there.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the ending for myself.
Yeah, but when I was writing that song in Blue Mountain Guitar and Harrison walked in, that was the kind of band I wanted to be. I wanted to just be this crazy punk rock, just get up on stage and do whatever. And yeah, that song really embodied it. And I think it still really embodies what we want to be as a band, but there's still so much other stuff. I don't know.
We've gone down so many avenues, and like she said, it's kind of, I don't know, what's like, and I say it to you guys, I think it's what makes us kind of different. So
yeah, and we're all very poor musicians, and
it's kind of redundant, but yeah.
That song was kind of just trying to wake people up to be like, yeah, there's a clear line drawn here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like it's us and them, but there's clearly something that isn't working here.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it up to interpretation. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to blame anybody. Like I love everybody, but that song was just supposed to be like, something's not right,
Yeah. No, and it shouldn't be this different. There shouldn't be this big a chasm between the two. No, and I really like, one of the things I love about that song is that you guys morph that song in a very subtle way from the beginning to the end, and between, like, there's really no, unless I missed it, I don't hear like an official chorus in that song. There's not like a sung chorus that repeats. There's instrumentation that I think kind of stands in almost as a chorus, but it's not like a intro, verse, chorus,
right.
verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, out kind of structure. And I thought that was fascinating because I didn't miss it. I didn't need it. Like, I wasn't going like, but the song has no chorus in there, so there's no hook or whatever. It's not like that at all. But then you get to what I guess I would call the bridge, where you're kind of talk singing again, but that groove gets a little dirty there. It just changes up just a little bit. And then you end on what I love to call, and I always think of in my head, as like the big rock finish, and like you've got all these little pieces of things, but it is, you got the distortion, you're very punk. And I love the way that the vocal melody line and the guitar melody line are in tandem in that song. It makes it pops, and it stands out as a relief to everything else that's going on, which is a lot more spare. But I love the groove on that song, and it's a different kind of thing than what you guys did in other stuff. And so, and that's kind of what I mean, where like, that, and I heard, again, The Little House, which I know you don't like the demos, dude, but I'm sorry. I really like that song. I really do. It's just, it's not.
It just kills me when people say they really like those songs, because when we play them now, it's leaps and bounds better. And I
leave absolute room for that. No, I do. But let's look at it this way, though. Instead of going, oh, but don't listen to that because what we do now is so much better. The way I would suggest you look at that, may I be so presumptuous, is if she likes it this much when I think it sounds that bad relative to what we're doing, how much is she going to love it when she hears it now? Like, there's a different, I mean, like, I love the lyrics in that, I love the way that you repeat, the little house and the little girl that's the center of my world. Like, there's the assonance in there. There's all the, it just, and it's so, I love that you shout out New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Like it's just in there, it's great. And again, it's got this cool little groove to it that it's a song that made me happy. It just made me happy. I just enjoyed listening to it, and I think that's something that's true for everything that I've heard of yours, that it's a different kind of happy. Like if we're listening to The Line's Been Drawn, it's like my, bouncy happy punk, whatever. But like, if I'm listening to, The Little House, it might be like, oh, that kind of, and it just, when I have, 7 songs or whatever it is, maybe I'm misremembering, maybe it's 8 or whatever, but like 7 songs that make me happy, but in completely different ways. Like that's kind of an economy of genius there that you've managed to pull off, where it's like, okay, if I want to listen to something super up tempo, I can go to Pointless Culture and I can get that. If I want to listen to something that's 50s rockabilly bluesy, whatever, I can go to Pointless Culture. I can get that. And I'm just so interested to see what you guys have next. Like that. I mean, again, I mentioned I got to listen to,
Unreleased.
An unreleased track that is going to be, I guess, the next single. And it is stuff similar to what you've done, and it isn't. I hear a little bit sort of a Severed Ties kind of esque feel a little bit, but it's not like Severed Ties, and I'm hearing what you guys have been describing doing in the studio. And I'm just so curious, when are we going to get this next album? Do you have a sense? Are you mostly done? Are you kind of still at the beginning? Are you, each one is smiling. Yeah.
What you heard was 4 hours into our new album. That's all we've put into it so far.
Oh, so you just started it.
Just started.
Okay.
We go every week, like just straight out. Probably takes about 20 weeks to record it, but that is, our schedules will not let us do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see, I guess. I'll let Harrison give his opinion. But.
Yeah, we're we're kind of feeling it out still. You know, I hate to say this, but you know, we're kind of doing it differently now a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we've decided to kind of go a different avenue in recording this album, one that kind of can better fit our budget. So we're kind of I don't want to say we're late. It feels like we're cheating, but I don't know. But we're still gonna go back to Jerry. But we're not. We love Jerry so much. We're not.
But
working
look, money
yeah.
is money. I mean, it's
Yeah.
clearly
Yeah.
not a preference issue.
Yeah.
It's a necessity thing. I hear that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And-
if you can get some of that done.
is amazing. The price doesn't mean anything. The new guy, oh my God, he's great to record with. I don't want to knock either party.
No,
You weren't. No, you weren't. Not
No,
It's supposed to be made.
and Mark very much respects Jerry and he loves what he's done with us, and you know he wants to, you know, do what he can do with us to kind of get us to where we want to be.
Yeah.
But we will be going back to Jerry eventually. We want to knock out maybe a couple singles with him down the road pretty soon. So but yeah, no, the album, like we're one song into it right now, but I also think the technique that we're recording with right now is it's working for us. It's pretty cool. Like we're just doing basic tracking, but we've never done that, and we're doing it to a click. I will tell you, none of these songs that are released, none have been done with a click.
That's a whole other beast. How
Yeah.
are you feeling about that? Because some people love it, some people fucking hate it.
I was fighting the click like crazy on Tuesday, but 3 takes we got it. So
Okay, not that crazy then.
yeah.
What were you gonna say, H2?
Oh, I just said I love playing with the click. It made it really easy.
Okay.
Oh, before I even, you know, banter off even further, the album, like overall, I think we're looking at maybe like if we're gonna do it right and we're gonna really put our all into this, I don't think we have an idea right now, because we just want to, you know, we want to take as long as we.
Well, that's
you know,
it.
put
It's going to
as
take
much-
however
yeah.
long it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it going to be an EP or an LP?
LP. Yeah,
Okay.
we're thinking about right now. It's going to be either 14 or 15 titles on the album. Right.
Wow.
We might do a couple bonus tracks too.
So yeah, we might do a deluxe version too.
We've been
Deluxe
finishing
edition.
some songs
Look
recently.
at you, and maybe like one of those multimedia DVDs that goes along with it. You know, people.
Well, we
get
got
dressed up
Natalie,
like
so we
the-
might be able to.
Yeah, actually, it's true. If anybody could pull that off in this day, so
3D
but you know what? I'm really glad that you're not rushing it out. You know,
Yeah,
I
we
really
don't want
am,
to.
because it's you know, you are, everything that you've done so far has improved upon what you did before when it was already good to begin with. So I mean, I think taking that time and really, you know, this is as I said, you know, this is really going to be your voice as a band, where this is the four of you coming together to write and make it sound exactly the way the four of you want to, starting from scratch, you know, and that needs to take as long as it takes, you know.
exactly.
I mean,
There's probably going to be songs this album that we haven't even written yet, to be honest with you.
I would imagine. I would imagine.
It just happens, you know. Like last week we did something, the week before Ben did something, and it's like, shit, that's got to go on the album. We're like, so now we're going to chess piece them around. I don't know.
I was going to say, you
yeah.
guys, I think, are going to have a problem of figuring out what not to put on the album. I get that sense, because, you know, Ben's going to come back from the bathroom and, you know, a riff's going to fall out and you're going to be like, well, that's got to go on the album. And then the album is like, it's like a 5, you know.
This guy over here, he sent us a new song like yesterday.
Yeah.
We've never heard before. It was like a full song with full lyrics, and we are like, dude, this is fantastic. Like, gotta make room for it now.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I love the topic of choice too,
Yeah.
from the point of view of an acorn.
Dude
Yeah.
wrote about a squirrel's life.
Yeah, I was very
Okay.
intrigued by that.
Okay, so is this more in line with like a breakfast song kind of lyrical thing than like a...
It's like the breakfast song lyrics, but it's almost like a Magic Hat kind of feel.
Okay, look at you,
Cool.
column
You
A
may
and
not see
column Bing it. Okay, I like it.
You won't see it for a long time, but don't worry. Like, we're not gonna take a year to put out an album and not give anybody anything. We're planning on releasing at least 3 or 4 songs.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Mhm.
Are you going to put anything out as singles? Yeah, because again, that's
We don't
the dreaded algorithm kind of demands that you can't disappear off the planet for a year and whatever. So okay, so you kind of have a
mom
plan
keeps
for that.
bothering me about it too. She wants to hear more music.
I'm with mom. I do too. I'm gonna be haunting you guys for sneak peeks if I don't get anything soon myself. So you don't want to have to. Don't let the moms get after you, man. We're give moms guns or whatever. Like we're nasty, but no. I mean, just before we begin to wrap up, like I have to ask about the couch.
The casting couch.
I'll take this one.
Well, no, I'm not gonna let you answer because that's what you said, casting couch. But tell me the story of the couch because it's. I love that we got to see the back of the couch. I love that somebody thought that was something we needed to see. On
you needed to see it.
We had to see the back, but so
the show was a real couch.
So
dry for content. I need to post I need something on there. So
here's the couch. The couch is something my parents had before I was even born in their apartment, and it's we practice in my basement now, and in there is that same couch we used, along with a vacuum, a coffee maker, a lamp. All used on the cover.
It was like literally any random shit we could find. We just wanted to put it. It made no sense.
Yeah, and we figured it was kind of a last minute idea to put this as our cover too. Is take the couch outside, put some rain on it.
No, it's great.
Have us outside and be kind of a live action cover.
But I also love that the photo you guys finally went with wasn't posed. It wasn't like everybody's somebody's on the ground with like something on their face. It's just it really again like and I hate to say it this way because it sounds so calculated and you guys clearly are not, and it doesn't come across that way either. But like you, just by being who you are musically and as people, you have a very distinct brand, as they say, and like that couch, the picture, all of that, even the back of the couch, it was so on brand, and like, and I think I remember reading that Natalie got like the final vote on which picture, and she knew exactly what to do. Because,
and I was hoping she picked that one.
That one, no, it just it's a picture that makes you want to know that band. Like you just want to be like because again, as I said, there's a wink in everything that you guys do, and that always intrigues me because I know I'm gonna have fun. Because there are some bands that it's deadly serious, and the music could be great, but like it's deadly serious, and you're going to go in there and and it's like, watching Schindler's List or whatever, and it's great and I appreciate it, but oh my God, then I got to go watch like something like The Office when I get home because like holy shit, like you guys, you have heart and you have talent, but you also have that humor and that wink and that personality, and I love that that's evident from the second you look at that picture. That's just like it's like a sneak peek on what's
what
inside.
What a bunch of fucking weirdos they are.
Well, that's I guess that's another way to put it.
Gun. Harrison's reading some old, I don't know what was good. Yeah, that was a weird.
I don't even think it was hanging in the basement too.
Yeah, the newspaper I was reading in that was a newspaper that Nolan's sister's Thanksgiving poem was in what, like 6th grade or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Back when H1 was dating her. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God damn.
There's a couple subtle nods in that picture too that we won't really understand until we come out with the next music video, which Natalie, just another nod to her being amazing. She's been pestering us. She does all this pretty much, it's all charity work. We don't make any money, so we can't pay anybody anything. And still she's freaking texting us all the time, asking us when is the next music video going to happen. We'd love to get together, and I have some girls that want to help me with this. I've gathered a team, I've got equipment. We just want to figure out what's going on. So
holy shit!
Yeah, we've got some plans for a breakfast song music video coming soon.
Okay,
I forgot to tell you,
got
boys.
to be fun. Okay,
she texted me the other day, and I completely forgot to say anything. But she's looking at maybe doing a shoot down in Worcester. So she found a warehouse. Yeah.
Worcester.
I completely forgot about it until now.
Of
Yeah.
course you did, because you have 683 text messages.
Yeah.
I'm impressed you saw it. Like, Natalie should know
Oh.
better than to text you at this point.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I feel bad. There's a lot of people that text me, and then like there's this person that texted me last Friday, and like I know I should probably respond to them, but I haven't. Yeah, it's a bad habit, and sometimes I'll clear out my. Yeah, it's bad. I don't know. Don't be like me. Or
So
Harrison.
anyone watching, if you've texted Harrison recently, just give up. Forget about
Yeah,
it. You're
give
never
up.
going to hear back. But he
Or just
feels
call
real bad
me.
about it, folks. That's it. Call him. He'll just be sitting around and he'll pick up, and then you can start another band with him. But so okay, just
No,
before
not even.
before we finish up, you guys do also play out a fair bit. You guys are
Little bit.
giggy people,
Trying
and
to.
Last
Trying
year,
to.
we
you
had
have like the worst weather luck of any band
Oh
I've
my
ever
God.
seen in my entire life. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It's
That
like
was-
Storm from the
That was the
X-Men.
inspiration for the EP's titles. Can't stand the rain because that's all
Yeah.
it
We
did
got so
last
many
summer.
shows canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, and postponage and cancellations galore last summer. And
I mean,
we
like,
thought that was a fitting title for our debut EP.
it really is spectacularly like I mean, I was like, well, we're gonna play this gig,
Well,
unfortunately, and due to rain, and we're gonna play. Oh, well, we have to wait and see if they're actually still gonna hold the festival. And okay, and I was just like,
Yep.
it was like
Yeah.
it was like a saga going through your
If-
Facebook page.
it was honestly getting embarrassing to post them, but we're like, we have to say something.
Yeah.
If you lived in New Hampshire this past summer, you knew
especially Atworth.
it
We're
was
just in the Northeast.
Um,
It was just like
They said, I think there was only 12 days where it didn't rain this past summer in New Hampshire.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I was trying to get to work in Ackworth, and the road was gone. 123A.
Yeah.
I had to turn around and go home. Like there's 3 ways for me to get into Ackworth
Holy
that don't
shit.
take like an obscenely amount of time.
It's in
They
the
were
middle of nowhere, though.
All
yeah.
washed out. It was insane.
Pretty sure our August 5th show, it was like a thunderstorm, like
Yeah.
right before.
Yeah, I was
Right.
so nervous. Yeah, because when we played our biggest show, like at the Bank of New Hampshire stage, like,
Yeah.
we legit thought the power was like something was because it was getting pretty shitty out. And we're like, no, we were like,
No, please, not
this-
this one. Please,
yeah,
please,
yeah.
yeah. Because that was a big show. That's a
That
first of all, it looks
was.
like a beautiful venue.
It is. It's new. It's yeah. It's a beautiful room.
I
I've
mean,
got
you
some
would think like
connections.
being inside the weather shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Or just like any it's the power's gonna go out something's, but no, we're looking to play that venue again. We kind of got a lead this week on it where we might be going back there and hopefully doing a split bill. So nothing's confirmed whatsoever, but the idea is there, and some of their people know, and we're going to
That's
try to make
exciting.
something work. Maybe June,
Okay.
we don't know, but yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just gonna keep anybody in New Hampshire that wants to book them or anywhere else, you just
Massachusetts, Maine. Actually, it's so funny, Christina. We had someone yesterday. I think we've reached out. I don't know if I did an official count. I think I've reached out. Well, we all kind of collectively reached out to people. Like I think it was like 55, 56 something venues, like me alone. And we finally heard back from one person yesterday out of all these people. That
it is
was like
so hard to
Yeah.
break into venues. It's like around here too. It's like people are like, oh, you're in New York, like it must always be easy to
Yeah.
get gigs because they're
No.
like it's like they
Doesn't
will
matter
book
where you
the
are.
same 10 bands, and it's like they
Yeah.
have this I'm in a headlock, and I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Breaking in as a new band, it's really that's why I was so impressed that you got such a big venue. I mean,
Yeah.
and it was funny because at that point in the research, I felt like I knew you guys already, and I saw the picture of you standing outside the venue, like right before you must have gone into like sound check or whatever.
Yeah, it was,
And you all
exactly.
looked so like happy, nervous, like
Yeah.
and it was
was a
it was
mixed
just such
bag
a
of
great
emotions.
moment to be like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that's a really big deal, and
Yeah, it was.
it so I hope you keep preferably indoor stuff that you
Yeah.
can schedule where the rain isn't going to automatically
Yeah.
kill you on that. But no, I
Mhm.
mean, it's just anybody that wants to book them, they're
Yeah.
around. They'll even go to Worcester.
We
They'll
will.
go to Worcester.
Yeah.
They'll go
Anywhere
wherever.
that doesn't require a passport.
Yeah.
For now.
Oh yeah, for
I would-
now.
I would
Um,
hope not. Yeah, I would hope not.
Yeah, Harrison's looking to buy like a short bus or something to,
Yeah,
Just
to put us all in and
We've
peruse
been talking
around.
with some friends that we all went to. Ben and I went to school with, who now live in I think somewhere right out of Nashville, Tennessee.
It's like I don't know. It's like Mansboro or something like that.
They just put out a single. They're worth looking
Roseboro.
up. Smoky Sip. It's
Okay.
one of my friends, and we wanted to do kind of like a joint, almost tour kind of thing.
Awesome. Yeah. Why the fuck
Play a
not?
handful of shows. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be more just like try to book as many shows up here as we can in New England. They'll come up here and play, and then we'll go down there and play.
Yeah.
They book as many shows as they can.
That's terrific. Absolutely. Why not? Like really, like why not? I mean, I guess for you guys, the only why not would be, you have to balance, and that's one of the hard things. You have to balance studio time and writing time and, gigs that you actually are playing at. It's a lot to try and juggle, but you guys will write shit on the road, no doubt. Like, I don't think you can help it. But so I mean, really, like this is just, again, I know I keep saying it's a wrap up, but we really are now. So, this band, I think great things coming. You're supposed to say that as a band, right? Like big things coming soon. But like,
Bacon Bits says never. Do you know who Bacon Bits is?
No, I only know them to eat them.
Oh, he gives music advice and like industry advice. He always says
Never
say big things coming. He's like never say that. So yeah, he's
but
like
you have to. It's a meme
right?
now. You have to. Big things coming soon, and then just never post about it. That's my favorite thing. That's my absolute favorite thing to do. But I mean, I really, I think you guys, I think that this next album, I'm very excited. However long it takes, whenever we'll get a single or whatever, I think
that'll be probably, hopefully, you guys all agreeing that we might get that single probably like mid-Feb, maybe.
Okay, so it will probably have even maybe been out by the time this is aired.
Release it for my birthday on March 13th.
There you go.
That would be
Yeah.
What about mine? I'm on the 30th. And I was kidding.
That's great. Now you're gonna have like a Harrison birthday battle. You two just then put out another one for your birthday. We'll get two. We'll get
two in March.
But listen, before I let you guys go, okay, I do like to end every show with a little segment that we like to call In the Vox Seat. And what this is I have asked every single musician who has been on this show. I think we're up to close to 60 shows by now, maybe more. So it's a lot of musicians at this point. The same 5 questions. Now, at least one of them people hate me for. You guys may or may not. And the last question, I don't know if Nolan is privy to this, but this has become a controversy like none other. It's going to make fans for you and lose fans for you, depending on what your answer is. So I just, want to put you on edge for that, which is really always fun. I'm going to make you nervous head, but we'll start with an easy one, which is for each of you. If you had to describe Pointless Culture's music in 5 words or less, what would each of you say? Ooh. Ooh.
Well, I've got mine.
Okay, do it. Lay it on me.
Totally, super, duper, duper fun.
Fuck you. Okay, fine. No, I can't fault you. You're totally wrong on that. I love that there were 3 dupers too. Totally super duper duper. No, 2 dupers. 2 dupers and a super. Okay, fun. I can't argue with you. Who's going to possibly top this from the lyricist of the band, ladies and gentlemen? So who's going to top that one? Ben is deep in thought. I'm going to move on from him. Nolan, you look like you might be ready.
I think I got one. Let's see. A mixed bag of...
No, you can't do that.
It does not have to be a sentence, by the way. It could just be words. So people will say things like fun, cool, whatever. So you can come up with a sentence, but you certainly don't have to. If you want to bring your mixed bag into things, we'll look at your bag, Nolan.
Do you want to think about it and I'll go?
It's like a variety. I mean mixed bag in the positive sense.
I figured you did.
Yeah. It's like a different...
So are we going... I'll hyphenate that for you. Are we going with mixed bag or you want to do a mixed bag? Is that what we're doing? I think Nolan needs thinking time. I'm going to come to you, H1. Go ahead. Let's give Nolan a little more time. Nolan has to craft his answer like his baseline.
All right. Unsuspecting, chill. Oh, hold on.
You came out strong, like you were like, "Do you want me to go, Nolan?" You don't.
Yeah, and then I screwed up.
I like his method better. His answer.
Hold on. I got
Just go through your text messages and pull out random words.
No, I'm thinking. Wow, you really put me on the snow. I put myself on the spot.
I was like, I put you in the snow. I didn't put you anywhere. You found the spot and you just lifted yourself and put yourself there. Ben, do we have you, Ben? Can anybody answer?
I'll get back.
I think I have one, yeah.
All right, I believe in you, Ben. Here we go.
Smelling flowers. Wait. Smelling flowers with a gun. Boom. That's it.
Ooh.
That's
Dude, that was badass.
He always pulls shit out of his ass.
Or holding a gun. That's still 5 words. There we go.
Smelling flowers, holding a gun. Yep.
Okay. I love that.
That's really
Can't
cool.
top that.
Maybe we should make that a song.
Guns
You
are
know,
illegal.
I was going to say, that's either going to be a title or a song, I could tell.
Yeah,
Okay. And yeah, I don't even feel like I need an explanation for that because I get it. Yeah, and it goes a lot to duality. All right, cool. Okay, guys, now look what happened. You slept on it, and now you got to top fucking Ben over here. We got to top the poet laureate of New Hampshire. So what are we doing? Who's going?
Yeah, I don't know if I can top that one. That was beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
That was beautiful.
Okay.
I know.
Right from the top. Pretend you're freestyle rapping.
Off the dome.
Yeah.
Do it, Nolan. Do it. Come on, Nolan. Make it great. Do it. You don't have to come up with 5. If you have 1, if you have 3.
What if we have more?
No, it's 5 or less. No.
Dang.
Voxandstix, I say no.
Okay, I got to think.
One word would probably be the best way to describe it. Maybe a few words, but passionate, musical fun.
Okay, see, that was very good. No, it was very good. Passionate, musical fun. I like it because that's we're gonna go with that. See, Nolan was fine. All right, H1, you stepped up and then you stepped back. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay, I got to figure this out.
Today, Junior.
Yeah. Hey.
Today. All right, come on.
Okay. Okay. Chill, fun, energetic, sad, but cool. Yeah, cool. I'll add cool for the last one. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Yeah.
See, you all did it. You did it. And they all work individually, and when you put them together, you cover all the bases. And then you got Ben's album title or whatever going along with that. So all right.
It'll be something. 2 weeks from now.
That was the easy question, guys. So holy shit.
Oh.
No, I think this one may be easier.
This is like math in school again. I want to die. No.
That's what I'm going for. Is I want all the guests to want to die. That's I really
no.
Can we quote you on that for the website?
Sure.
Box and guest makes you want to die. I think this one will be easier, which is for each of you, what is your favorite thing about being a musician?
It's therapeutic.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
it's a great release. It's a way to express ourselves, and like you said, it's therapeutic. It takes you away from a lot of the bad that goes on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you distraction. It's like medication. It's medicine.
Okay.
It's a drug.
Yeah,
I
I feel
can't
like
get rid of that.
it's an avenue to say what I want to say without people judging me bad for it. They take it more with a grain of salt when you say it behind some pretty kick-ass music.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, you're totally right. It's like a Trojan horse of whatever it is that you want to say. All right.
Yeah. People might be like, "Oh, that's crazy," but then if you say it behind something that he's playing, or
it's also catchy.
Bass line, they're like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to that 10 more times and maybe understand what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. I love that. No, I love that. Okay, so largely for everybody, therapy, escape, and expression. So the flip side, though, your least favorite thing about being a musician, if you have one.
Staying up late.
Yeah.
My bedtime's 9:30.
Sorry. We're past it. We're almost done, buddy. We'll get you a little blankie you hang in for the next couple minutes.
Get
Okay,
your
so
little
staying up late.
pacifier.
It's more playing shows past 9:30.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. If we ever play more shows, we'd probably be going to bed at 3.
No, he won't be a carpenter anymore, so he'll be good.
Yeah, I won't have to get up so early.
There you go. Okay, so staying up late.
Thing, right? Is that the question?
Yeah, least favorite thing.
Sometimes, like, to keep up with the industry and, like, keeping up with all the new stuff going around. It's the grind can be a little tiring if especially creatively, like writing music and stuff and recording and stuff like that can get a little tedious depending on just many different factors. Really, it can be a little grindy.
Okay,
but
grindy.
Impulse buying is another one.
I will say. Yeah, Sweetwater, they love me.
Ben, were you about to drop some knowledge again?
I was just saying, it's like the fear of it really is present all the time, especially when you're like about to play a show. It's like the amounts of ways you can fuck up is just innumerable. It's just wild how much. Like,
every song has a million notes, and you can fuck up every one.
Exactly. Dude, even on the EP, I fucked up some notes. In the beginning of Magic Hat, there's a missing note. It's a muted palm note that I only play live now because I recorded it and was like, this sounds cool with like the muted silent note that I'm the only one who hears it.
Yeah. I fucked up on the breakfast song, but I'm not going to tell you where because it fit really nicely.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. And I didn't hear anything where I was like, oh, they messed up. So it did pass me by. But I know what you mean. You guys know what you want it to sound like or what you're planning on doing. So I think most of the time, though, when you're playing live, if you fuck up, as long as you don't show it, the audience either won't notice or they won't care. So, all right. But the fear, that's a really good, I think every musician knows that fear. Like, yeah. Okay. All right. So we got fear and staying up late.
Yep.
And impulse buying and the grind. Okay, H1, what's you?
I would say this is going to sound really like cliche and like, oh my God, he's such a little flower. But no.
I'm totally going to say that now, whatever it is that comes next. But go ahead.
I would just say that like I don't like that people don't support each other. Like musicians don't. Some musicians don't support each other. Like we're all in this grind together. It's tough, but like I hate that there's a jealousy factor. Like especially with the younger, like kind of where we're at right now. Like I don't know. Like there's some bands. It sucks. Like because there's been some bands like I've reached out to, and they just want like nothing to do with us, or I don't know. It's just like we're in the same boat. Like why? Like
I know
an
what you
opportunity
mean.
here.
That's right. Like why not help each other? You know what it's like. You've been there. Like if you can help people, it's
not a competition. We're all trying to get to the same goal, and there's plenty of room for everybody.
That's exactly right. No, that doesn't sound cliche, and I don't, in fact, think you're a little flower. You might be. And that would be lovely, but no, I agree with you. I mean, I think that's what this whole community, that we're trying to build online is about. It's like, we all know that feeling of like, putting out something about a show or whatever, song that you've done, and like nobody that is around you like seems to give a shit, and the musicians, at least like some of the really nice ones, will say, I don't want them to feel that way because I have felt that way. And so people will support and whatever. And if everybody did that, like everybody would benefit. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. No, that's a great answer. That's it. And okay. So this one, I'm curious because we've touched on it a little bit here and there, but I'm not sure what your answers are going to be. So this is the one people usually hate me for, though. For each of you, if you had to pick just one album to listen to for the rest of your life, just one, what album would you choose and why?
Wow.
I would.
Weezer album with My Name Is Jonas on it.
Really? Weezer? Really?
I listened to that for like a year straight delivering pizzas.
Okay.
It's because all I had was a CD player. Love that album. I could recite almost every word. It's amazing.
Okay. You're going with Weezer. Okay.
Mine would be... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. Sorry,
That's a
I didn't mean
Blue
to cut you
album?
off.
Oh, you're changing your mind? I think it might be.
Yeah.
The one with the blue I think it might be, yeah. Okay, H1. Did you have it?
Mine would be Hopes and Fears by Keen because it's actually their debut album. But I don't know, like you said with us, like if you want to listen, like they have a bit of everything on that whole album, and I think it's some of their best work. And I don't know, I've been a fan of them since I was like 7 years old, so it's like, yeah, no, I can get by with them anytime. Like I could, I don't think I could ever get sick of them. So yeah.
Oh, that's a good one to bring then. Okay,
Yeah.
Nolan, Ben, who's got it?
I'm stuck between two albums. I can't decide.
I'm also at a crossroads.
Okay, tell me your crossroads. I'm
It's
only going to
Nicki
give you
Minaj,
one.
dude. You can't pick Nicki Minaj. No, I'm kidding.
No way.
The monster
let's
do
see.
and the monster do. No, okay. So who? What are the two? What are the two crossroads for each of you? Tell me. What are you
Mine?
stuck on, Ben?
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
say the brand new album, Deja. I can't. It's like a French fucking album name. I can't even remember it. What is this?
Déjà entendu.
Deja entendu.
Yeah.
Oh, I already heard. Yeah, okay. I think
brand new. They're pretty good.
brand new. Okay, are you going with that one?
Or fucking The Wall. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
You know what it is.
Yeah, The Wall by Pink Floyd.
I was gonna say you can pronounce it, so right there it's got a leg up. But okay, all right. So the Wall is a very popular choice on this show. Tell me quickly your why. Besides the fact that it's just a great fucking album, like what's the?
It's just Pink Floyd's, like, I have to say they're my favorite band of all time. And I used to just fall asleep listening to The Wall on repeat on like a CD player next to my bedstand. So
Okay.
just like ingrained in my DNA at this point.
I gotcha. No,
Yeah.
that's completely legit. It's both great music and it has a nostalgia factor for you. But okay, Nolan, I think I interrupted you. Did you choose a fork in the crossroads, or are you still stuck?
So I used to listen to a lot of classic rock myself, but a lot of 80s is included in that. One of my favorite 80s albums of all time is Out of the Cellar by Rat. And
Okay.
Oh, they're gonna say Steve Miller or something.
close.
I love that it's Rat though. Okay.
Rat. I love the band Rat. Round and Round is one of my favorite 80s songs, and something I've had a blast playing on guitar for a long time. So that just for that alone, and there's many other tracks on there that I love. And I've never gotten tired of it. It's timeless. It's their debut album, and it's like it was a strong beginning to their career and all that, and it's always held a special place in my heart.
Okay. I'm curious. What was the other one? Britney
So,
Spears, right? It was
I'm
Britney
also
Spears.
no close.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Very close.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Undertow by Tool.
Oh,
Very close. I was
Very
just
close.
millimeters off which Tool would calculate for me,
Nanos.
but okay,
Yeah.
okay.
love
So
Tool.
okay, but you're going with Rat over Tool.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
tough. Yeah.
Okay. It's a bold choice, and I applaud you for your bravery. I like it. You're the first person to say Rat on the show. You would not have been the first person to say Tool. So you're blazing a trail. And I
right.
applaud you for that.
That's
That's
awesome.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
That's
Guys,
a very narrow victory.
this is it now. Okay, this is the last question. Believe it or not, it's been 9 days, I think, since we sat down together.
Yeah, it's been.
And I think this is the one that's really going to bring it all together. Okay. And as I said, this is a big question. So I always have to do this now. Freaky Things. Joe from Freaky Things is saying, no, I like you, Pointless Culture. Don't screw this up. Dom, if he's here, from Jam Steak, is sort of quietly resigned. We have a lot of people riding on this, but here we go. For each of you, your toilet paper roll, when you put it on the holder, does the toilet paper come from over the top, or do you pull it out from under the bottom, and why?
I'll start this. Over the top. Otherwise, it's a sin.
Oh, over the top, otherwise it's a sin, did you say?
Yes. Underneath is
sin?
the worst.
This is a religious decision for you, Nolan. It's a sin. Okay, so under is
I'm
the
bringing
worst.
it out. Yeah.
I used to
okay.
live with him. I know what he does. I lived
That's
with him for 3 years.
There's a lot baked into that. I'm not going to delve any further. Okay. So all right. So Nolan is a strong over out of the gate, and H2. I think I saw you also. Are you consulting your fiance to know what.
I'm insulting Ben's girlfriend 'cause she just went to check her toilet paper, and my roommate must have put it on because it's under the bottom. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. You obviously want to be able to just slap it right from the top and have that shit roll right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't, then what the hell is wrong with you? Yeah.
Okay, so you're over the top because anything else is wrong, and then H1, you're obviously also an over guy, and you have
My fiance does it backwards, and it makes me literally want to grab the hole and rip it out of the wall and like throw it on the floor and set it on fire and burn it.
Ever heard the argument for why people do it the other way? It's because they have cats. And
we do hear that. That was our very first episode. Dom was from Jamsteak was our first under, and his rationale was that he does have cats. However, he would do it that way anyway. But we have had cat owners on this show that still are overs, like yourself. So, okay. So we have a sin. We have it's just wrong otherwise, and basically, yes, it's just you will go into a blind rage.
Mm-hmm.
The other day. Full on fucking Hulk Hogan, that mother. If it's okay, I got you. All right, Ben, this is it. Is it a band?
It's definitely, you got to go over towards yourself.
Okay.
I think the real question though is, do you sit up or sit down to wipe?
Is that the real question though? Does it have to be? Do we have to?
That is a question. People have different answers. Some people stand up to wipe.
Shut up.
Wait, like some people sit down to wipe? How does that work? How do you sit down? How do you okay.
Wait,
I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer.
See, you have a different answer.
Well, yeah. I got my factory's built slightly differently, but yeah. So I mean, but I thought you were gonna say, do you stand or sit to pee? But this is getting into a level of
All right, bro. We're gonna.
I think we're good. You know what? We're gonna go with the fact that we have 4 overs. Okay, so we have 4 categories here. We have a running tally. We have over. Now you guys have upped that by 4. That is a big jump for the over army. We have under. We do have under people. They do exist and we love them. We have other people who don't put it on the roll. They stick it on the back of the toilet. They put it on the toilet paper holder, but not on it. And then we have Dean. Dean is our resident shit goblin, and Dean is chaotic neutral, where if you have it over and he goes into your house, he will turn it under. And if he goes into your house and it's under, he will turn it over. He just wants to be a contrarian. So you guys are firmly in the over category. You have once again worked together in a non-pointless way on the toilet paper question, which was very much a pointless question. But there you go, guys. I know this is probably the weirdest interview you've done, but
it's the best one we've ever done.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm so.
We want to do it again.
Okay, let's start over right now. Hey guys, it's Christina. This is Voxy. No, like, everybody's gone. But no, I was looking so forward to having you on, and some of that is before I really listened to the music, down to just Nolan and what a fucking supremely awesome dude Nolan is. But I really I was so looking forward to having you on. It did not disappoint. For anybody who's not already familiar with Pointless Culture and the music, love them up, please. I want you to go like them on Facebook, go to their YouTube, sub to that. When they're back on Spotify, they're all over the place. Just go listen, support them. We're going to rebuild all those numbers, everything else. And you're not going to be unhappy at all, because I'm telling you, whatever you're looking for, they've got some version of that for you, and it's gonna turn it on its head in a really great way. So thank you for coming so much. And when the new stuff comes out, you got to tag me. I want to know.
We will.
Okay?
We will.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'm holding you.
All your time, Christina. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you. You guys too. I'm so happy that nobody fell asleep. And now, Ben, you could go find some candy to eat because it's a Friday night. And on that note, before anybody brings up ass again, I'm going to say that's another Vox and guest in the books. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.